Any clouds, practically no wind at all, and the ground in Bayswater Oval, you wouldn't think any less. It's in perfect in condition like usual. As we said, going to be a great day for footy. Not too many problems down here, and hopefully we won't hear from us too much because not too many injuries. And just quickly today, I'll be tipping Scoresby. I think the way they've been playing throughout the year and the fact that they've beaten Vermont earlier in the year, I think they'll get up.
Let's hear a tip from your other fellow boundary rider there, Dan Senchik, who of course is wearing the Akira Urgent Care cap, wearing it backwards like not a small boy at all. Dan Senchik, let's hear your tip from you.
Yeah, feeling like a bit of a cool dude down here, Benny, but look, I'm going to go for Vermont today, even though Ryan Mullet's out. I think they're an experienced finals campaign team. They know what's required to get the job done in September, and they'll do that today.
And of course, we heard from you earlier before, it's all thanks to Choose Tap, Yarra Valley Water, sponsoring the final series all throughout 2012, but also good that they are sponsoring the stats work from our stats men all the way throughout the finals series, all throughout the home and away season as well. It's a good afternoon to Grant Campbell. Your tip for this afternoon, please.
My tip for the match, I'm going to go for Scoresby, and I think Ryan Mullet will be sorely missed. He's been named in the best players 15 times this season, next best 10, so that just shows you how good a season he's had.
Incredibly consistent season as well. BWS, we haven't heard an official tip from you today. How do you see this one going? It's I know you've been looking forward to this one for quite some time.
Oh, I really have, Ben. And of course, we watched this game only 3 or 4 weeks ago, and everybody on that afternoon, it was the time when Vermont had won 9 games in a row and everyone thought they were able to make it that vital 10. But it was a really interesting game that day in the fact that Scoresby just owned it from start to finish. And not only did they have some big players out in Chris Hogle, who's such a live wire for them at forward, and David Marcius didn't play that afternoon. They had the targets like Wilson and Chadwick, who really stood up that afternoon. Dalton and Henley, they were well held that day, and Scoresby will take a lot out of that. And of course now without Ryan Mullet, who actually got votes, Narellan Poole votes on that very afternoon, he's a massive loss for them. And I just think Scoresby's run since that very day has just been super, and they've had some big challenges over the last month of football. They're primed for this Choose Tap final series, and I think they'll go away with this game. And I'm not going to say they'll win easily, but I think they'll run away with it by the end.
Sorry, go ahead, Frosty.
Yeah, I think another player that's going to have a huge impact, the fact that he's not out there today, and we haven't mentioned him, is Heath Black. He brings a lot of experience and a lot of class, having played at AFL level, to this Vermont side. He was really good for them last week in their defeat of Noble Park, but he's not in that selected side for Vermont today either, so that's just another void that Vermont will have to fill and cover today.
Speaking of selected teams, Frosty, just have a look at the text that I've just put in front of you and read that out for all our 98.1 Radio West listeners, Eastern fans.
It said Frosty was wrong. Trent Giorgio is playing.
Trent Giorgio playing. He will be very crucial across the half-back line today. Looking forward to seeing some of his work.
Andrew.
Let's cross down quickly to Braden Ingram, thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Thank you, Ben. Just got the final interchanges for both sides for Scoresby, Brenton Legg, and just a quick one. Jared Hicks, we spoke about him in EFL Sunday last week. Got his leg run over in a truck accident at work last week. He's up for Scoresby, which is very good news for them. And I'll cross to Dan for the Vermont interchange.
Isn't that just Trojan tough stuff, boys, right there, right now? But look, starting on the bench for the Vermont side, Travis Bird, Shane Davidson, David Leung, and of course Andrew Ellis. Back to you, boys.
Good stuff, Dan. Very Trojan workhorse-like, and of course we're giving away the Trojan workhorse prize today, Frosty.
Certainly are. Wait for that roar when our man Benny Bronskis comes onto the ground. I'm sure the crowd will give him a very warm reception.
Cannot wait.
Scoresby kicking to the Canterbury end of the ground, or left on your radio dial. Division 1 Choose Tap final series about to get underway. It's all started, the biggest month of football for the year. Ben Waterworth to take us away with the first quarter.
The Choose Tap final series is underway in Division 1. Dan Beard, the best umpire in the Eastern Football League, not self-appointed, but he's a beauty. He holds the ball aloft. And let's get underway. It'll be Robbie Ross versus Luke Van Reenen, two of the best ruckmen in the competition. And Ross got the tap down in the middle, straight to the Vermont teammate there in Nathan Henley, who started in the middle, hasn't started up forward. So he started in the middle. So Ross gets another tap down. Heap of players converge on the footy. And
Simon Taylor it is in the ruck.
Simon Taylor it is, my apologies. Of course, the big former Hawthorn ruckman.
Very interesting to see Robbie Ross actually lining up as centre-half forward for the Eagles.
So ball up in the middle, Van Reenen got the tap down. Parker was there but went past him, and running through now the Scoresby have an opportunity. Beautiful kick up towards Jaden Hogle. He marks quickly inside 50, plays onto his brother. It's just like in the backyard, but Chris Hogle dropped the mark, probably what he should have taken. And we'll see a ball up 30 metres out directly in front of the Scoresby goal. Dan Beard holds it aloft. 46 minutes gone on EFL Game Day, all thanks to the pie shed. Taylor got the tap down for Scoresby. Nalbale kicked off the ground towards the Scoresby goal. It wobbles and wobbles and over the boundary line and out of bounds, Frosty.
Yeah, that's something I think we can expect to see from Scoresby there. They earned the free kick and they were very quick to move that ball on, Marcus. Get the ball on the boot and try and catch Vermont on that really fast break.
Yeah, definitely. The Hogle brothers have just got a great rapport with each other, and I think it's great.
The umpire threw it in. Taylor had the front spot. Wrapped up down there is Mitch Benuda, and we'll have another ball up. 25 metres out from goal, directly in front. It's down Scoresby's end. The umpire throws it up now. Going up is Hicks that time for the Magpies. Ball hits ground level. Trying to break a tackle there was Hogle. Got it out towards Hicks. He just needed to pick it up. Good handball there by Chadwick. Ball to boot. Goes towards the forward pocket. The umpire's not going to pay a mark. It didn't go far enough. Stacks on the mill right near that back pocket. The umpire's actually going to pay a free kick. It'll go the way of the Magpies, and they'll end up having the first shot of goal on here, Pete, and it'll be Jaden Hogle to have that shot.
This is to be a super start here for the Magpies. If they can get the early goal here, quell those nerves, because the last couple of final series we've seen Noble Park jump them early in games, particularly in big games. If they can get the first goal on the board, this would really set their nerves, Marcus.
Yeah, I'd nearly go as far to say that Jaden Hogle's probably the best small forward in the league. I just reckon he's quick, he's a great kick, and he's really smart around the goal. So you've really got Vermont have their work cut out to stop him today.
First shot on the goal for Scoresby. It's a good-looking kick off the boot, but he pushed it to the right-hand side. Minor score is the result, and that's the first on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard as we cross the 2.5-minute mark. Scoresby one behind, Vermont yet to score.
EFL Game Day 98.1 FM or streaming on efl.org.au, all thanks to the pie shed. Long kick out from defence towards the Vermont forward line. It hits in the middle though. Players converge on the footy. Ross went in, won a hard ball. Look at the tattoos on Robbie Ross, and he's tackled pretty heavily there by David Marcius. In the middle of Bayswater Oval, we'll see a ball up. Players just feeling each other out. High stakes here at Bayswater Oval today. Umpire balls it up quickly. Taylor v Van Reenen, both been on AFL lists. Ball comes out though here for Johns for Vermont. He tried to break a tackle and the umpire said he should have gotten rid of it. So a free kick's going to go the way of Bo Cosson. He looked to move it on quickly. Kick inside 50 looking for Chris Hogle. Was he held? Umpire said no. Sock it off the ground though for Scoresby. They'll try and look to gather here and bring it inside 50. Great tackle laid there by Kyle Emley. And we'll see the ball over the boundary line and out of bounds. 70 metres around from the Scoresby goal. They lead one behind to Vermont, yet to score on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 3.5 minutes gone. Boundary throw-in was a little short. The Scoresby player and Van Reenen, the Vermont player, thumped it over the boundary line and out of bounds on the full, and the umpire correctly played a free kick. So Parker makes the most of it. He's got a couple of teammates inside forward 50. Hogle was there. Will he get the hand passed off? Kick around the body towards the top of the goal square. Thumped away though. Players still in there. Jaden Hogle tries to keep the ball in, but it goes over the boundary line and out of bounds in the right forward pocket. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, it's Scoresby one behind. Vermont yet to score. We played just under 4 minutes right here on EFL Game Day.
The umpire throws it in. Hicks gets the back spot, tapped it down. Beautiful play. Kick on goal there that time by Kirby McConnon. Just missed. So a quick behind there to Scoresby once again from the stoppage. Pushes them onto two behinds. 4 minute mark. Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Benuda wants to go short. Henley in the back pocket, takes it now for the Eagles, wants to bring it across to the broadcast side, kicks it down the wing. That was a beautiful looking kick. It was intended for Galeno. He had back spot. McConnon was on his hammer. Handball over the top there to Jones. They're trying to get themselves out of trouble, trapped up in a tackle there. The ball bounces out towards the wing position. Now Scoresby are going to have the numbers. The kick tried to be squeezed away. That was okay there by Cross, and he backed it up too. Got it to McConnon, who squeezes a kick in towards the centre half forward, where he tries to find Chadwick. It bounced off his chest, but McConnon bounces on it again. Kick inside forward 50, goes very deep at the front spot. It might be good for Chris Hogle. Once again gets boot to ball. Top of the goal square stuff. Cosson wasn't quite quick enough. And now through Taylor, the Eagles are going to clear themselves out. Barry Murphy crunched in a tackle. He pushed it over the point line though. So safety counts, and Scoresby, well, they're peppering Peter Baird at the 5 minute mark. They move on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard to 3 behinds. Vermont yet to score.
They've had a few opportunities very early on. They probably need to kick one though here, because the more points they kick consecutively, the pressure starts to build on them.
They're putting a lot of pressure on Vermont at the moment. They're struggling to get past their halfway mark, struggling to get out of their defensive 50, Vermont, but they've received a free kick on the outer side in Dean Kelly. He kicks up long towards the centre wing area. Van Reenen got the tap down towards Tompkins. Vermont have the numbers at the back though. They arrive now. Henley off half back, stops, props. Hospital hand pass to Dean Kelly, putting him under enormous pressure. Taylor back to Henley. Kick was smothered there. On centre wing, Tompkins picks it up now, and they're away. Scoresby if they're able to get it through here. Kick inside 50 over the head of Chris Hogle. The ball comes to ground now. Here's an opportunity on the left foot. Kick around the body. He's just off to the left-hand side, and the kick that time came from Mark Williams, who started up forward. And Scoresby, they're four behind to the Pies. Vermont yet to score on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 6 minutes gone, and just notice number 25 for Scoresby, Kira Urgent Care Boundary Riders. Not quite sure who that is. In fact, that is Owen Chadwick. Don't worry about it. Owen Chadwick is on the ground, BWS.
So Millhouse has the kick in. It's a beautiful long kick too out of the danger zone. It's still across that forward 50 for Scoresby. McConnon on hands and knees tries to get it out. Warby's in there too. The umpire will come and bounce it. 50 metres out from goal. 6.5 minutes gone. Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap.
Clearances 6-0 Scoresby's way. Inside 50's 5-0 their way.
The umpire throws it up. Taylor got that knockdown, went towards the boundary line. Now paddling it to his advantage there for Vermont was Daniel Mendes. He couldn't quite pick it up. The umpire said play on. A lot of players converge around this football. Handball out there by Marcy. Has got it to Williams, to Van Reen, and kicks it inside forward 50. This is a good kick too. Just getting a handle on it was Taylor at the last minute over the boundary line and out of bounds. So a boundary throw in about 25 metres out from goal.
Tim Johnson got the job on Chris Hogle. Big match up, that one.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Scoresby's start, but also Vermont, they're only down by 4 points, and Scoresby have had a lot of the play, so...
The umpire threw it in. It came straight into the arms there of McCarthy. Good tackle there by Emley, and second effort to hold the ball in with Nathan Henley. Still 25 metres out from goal. They've squared it up a little bit. We'll have a bounce. It's down Scoresby's end. They currently lead at 4 behinds to nothing. The umpire throws it up. Taylor got that knockdown. Soupy comes down towards Chadwick. Tried to get a free kick. Hicks is down on hands and knees too. The umpire will have to come in and bounce this one again. And we'll have that. 7.5 minutes gone.
We might just want to get our Akira Urgent Care boundary rights just to check that number 25 for Scoresby. In the record, it's listed as Owen Chadwick, but not in the selected side.
So taken straight out of the ruck and then kicked into absolutely no one. The ball's still in the back pocket. The umpire said play on. Eventually it goes out of bounds. Handball away there by Hogle. So we'll have a boundary throw in. 25 metres out from goal, 8 minutes gone, Marcus.
Yeah, number 25 is Goldsack, not Chadwick, I believe.
Jared Goldsack. He's gotten rid of the 9 News Dots jumper. That's probably what's happened.
So, Pye just settling things, throws it in, double fisted there by Taylor, tried to get it into the arms of Emley. They're going to get out of this though. Scoresby, the kick it to the top of the goals, comes in towards the bed, Brockes direction, and he just pushed it across to the right hand side. He was at the top of the goal square, but great bit of pressure to force that behind, moving them on to 5 now. Scoresby, Vermont yet to score on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 8.5 minutes gone.
Peter Baird was almost out of his seat, and so was I, but went off for a minor score as Millhouse brings it into the right back pocket, and the mark has been taken by Johnson. Vermont struggling to get out of their defensive 50 at the moment. Need a mark from this kick. The kick's up towards half-back flank. Henley almost got a nudge in the back. Umpire said play on. Taylor does some crumbing work there. Players converge on him now. And umpire crosses himself now, and we'll see a ball up, Frosty.
I really like the way the Scoresby small forwards are getting front and centre of the contest as well. It's really disciplined play and really well drilled by Scott White. They kick the ball in there. If they're unable to mark, they bring it down and it goes exactly where they...
Van Reenen got the tap down, but kick was smothered though, and Vermont able to go forward. Nice lead there by Ross, and now here's a bit of opportunity for Nick Mendes. He runs through the middle, looks for Kelly on the outer side. He's got a bit of space to work with, and he's got space up ahead. Galino's in position A, goes over. He's there looking for Dalton, but almost a mark taken out the back, but Galino picks it up this way then that way, off to Dalton. The kick was dribbling towards goal, and it's gone through. Jared Dalton puts the first one on the board for Vermont. It was a messy goal, but they'll take it in the Choose Tap final. And Jared Dalton kicks Vermont's first there, 1 straight 6. Scoresby 5 behinds, just over 9.5 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. EFL Gameday brought to you by the Pie Shed.
Now, Marcus, that's always the danger when you pepper goals, but you're unable to get one on the board and you dominate play like Scoresby have for the first 4 or 5 minutes here in the game, and then Vermont run it down the other end and kick a goal with probably their first forward inside 50. That really probably takes a bit of the wind out of the sails from your great start.
Yeah, definitely a bit of space in Vermont's forward line for Dalton and Gelino, and if that continues all day, that's going to be dangerous for Scoresby.
Ross has moved into the middle and he won an instant tap out, went to the Mendes direction, tried to pick it up that time. Ryan Wilson wrapped up in a tackle, so a bounce right in the middle of the ground out here at Bayswater Oval. Big crowd building. First game of the Choose Tap Division 1 final series out here today. Who will play Norwood next week? Vermont currently lead it by a point. The umpire throws it up, trying to squeeze it out there. A little kick off the ground there by Hogel, goes up towards the Millhouse direction. He's got to beat Chadwick to the ball, paddles it to his advantage now. Cutting across over there is Bronze Geese. He got it backwards. Kick up towards the wing position, goes in nowhere. I said it didn't travel far enough. There's a high tackle paid out on the far side. Lucas Gibbons will be the recipient as we go boundary side, thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Thanks, BWS. Pretty warm down here. Seen a fair few interchanges, and Vermont just made four in about the space of 10 seconds, so very warm down here.
So Gibbons went for the Brongees direction, and why wouldn't you go that way too? The ball's fisted away, paddled towards the boundary line now. They've got the numbers down there. Right on his hammer is Kirby McConnon. He got the handball backwards. That was good. Jones has just got to trap it now. Gets it back to inside forward 50. That was an interesting kick by Chris Hogel, out of bounds on the full. Went for the inside out banana kick, and out of bounds is the result. So of course Vermont will have a chance to get out of that defensive zone. Let's cross back down boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Yeah, boys, number 25 for Scoresby is Jared Goldsack, so he's moved from number 9 to 25.
So Millhouse has the ball in the back pocket, goes short to Emley. He's got players out further. That was a good pass too. Henley takes a mark and then bounces off. That was a good pass there, spreading out wide now. Ryan Wilson takes the mark and has a bounce. He might even have two. Goes now on the left boot, inside forward 50 or thereabouts, coming out. Dalton takes a mark short option on towards the Ross direction. It went to absolutely no one. Ball fisted away. Bird will have time though for Vermont. They've got players in the middle of the ground if he wants to switch it up. Instead he goes for the longer option, inside forward 50. Who's going to be the flyer? Dean Kelly's down there at the fall. The ball so to his Tompkins. Scoresby though get the clearing kick. It might even go towards the boundary line. In fact, it does now. Over she goes, far side of the ground at Bayswater Oval. It's 1 straight 6 Vermont. Scoresby are 5 behinds. Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap.
Kicks 24-12 in favour of Scoresby so far.
EFL Gameday 98.1 FM or streaming through efl.org.au. All thanks to the Pie Shed today. See Mark and the team as Henley goes long inside 50 looking for Kelly. Ball beats him. Ball beats Tompkins as well. Boundary throw in 50 metres out from the Vermont goal. Just looks like a lot more space in the Vermont forward line at the moment, Frosty.
Yeah, they've done very well, Vermont, in pushing numbers up and to congest Scoresby when they were in possession of the ball, and they're leaving that forward line very open to hit them on the break. Van
Reenen from behind got the tap down. Daniel Mendes on hands and knees gets a little hand pass out, only as far as cross. Almost got a shove in the back, but the ball was over the boundary line, I should say, and out of bounds before that occurred.
I think Vermont are slowly working their way back into the game. They got off to a bit of a slow start, but Henley and guys like that are getting their hands on the footy, so it's good. Marcus
Hoddy's in special comments on here on EFL Gameday. Henley went up as the third man, thumped it about 10 metres forward. Scoresby have numbers at the fall of the ball, and now trying to run it off half-back. Kick was smothered there, dribble I should say. Now an opportunity for McConnon. This is of the Wade variety. He dropped what he should have had, and Vermont players converge on the football, and we'll see a ball up 45 metres out from the Vermont goal. They're in an attacking position here. They lead I should say by 1 point. 1 straight 6 of the Eagles to the Pies, 5 behinds. Van Reenen got it down. Henley again, he's had a fair bit of the footy early. We'll see another ball up. Dan Beard, not self-proclaimed their best umpire in the Eastern Football League, but he does a mighty fine job. Umpired the last 2 Division 1 grand finals. Ball up occurs now. Luke Van Reenen got the tap down. That only goes another 2 metres forward. So Vermont 1 straight 6. Scoresby 5 behinds. Ben Waterworth, Ben Warren, Smith, Peter Baird, Marcus Hoddies, Grant Campbell with you for EFL Gameday. Thanks to the Pie Shed. Ball comes forward now. Daniel Mendes picks it up, but he's immediately set upon by Wade McConnon, who throws him over the boundary line and out of bounds. So 25 metres out from goal. Vermont will look to try and get some reward for effort. They've been able to lock it inside their forward 50 for the past 2 minutes. They need some reward for effort here. Ball comes to ground. Kick was smothered off the boot. Can Vermont get some clean possession here? No, they can't. Scoresby are able to lock it in, and we'll see another ball up 30 metres out from goal. Vermont 1 straight 6, Scoresby 5 behinds. Almost 15 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. EFL Gameday, all thanks to the Pie Shed.
Van Reenen versus Bird. Bird got the tap down, came into the arms. Brad Jones tried to break a tackle. The umpire said he copped one high, so he'll get the free kick. Handy timing too, goes towards Brongees direction, chopped off by Dean Kelly across the 50. He wants to go on with it. The kick inside was intended for David Leung. It's still a bouncing footy. That was good play by Dalton. Breaks one tackle, eventually gets a handball across to Leung. Wrapped up in a tackle by Jones, and will have a bounce about 40 metres out from goal. Vermont, they've been the straight kicking side. Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap.
Effective tackles 13-12 in favour of Scoresby.
The umpire throws it up. Ross versus Van Reenen. Van Reenen got the knockdown. Vermont are going to have the numbers, except the pack converges and the umpire will have another restart. 15.5 minutes gone here. It's a tight tussle. Scoresby, 5 scoring shots to 1, but they find themselves trailing by a point. Vermont kicking straight. The umpire throws it up now. Ross over the back, got the handball away. Leung wrapped up in a tackle there. Good bit of play by Gibbons. He started fiery. Couple of tackles early for Lucas Gibbons, and we'll have another bounce 45 metres out from goal.
I think you're going to see this a lot, BWS, especially early on. A lot of teams just want to try and cause a stoppage and see how they go.
Well, Ross got the knockdown and a quick shot by David Leung went awry. So, but first blemish for the Vermont Football Club. 1-1-7 they are on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, but they lead by 2 points.
For EFL.org.au. EFL Gameday, all thanks to the Pie Shed. See Mark and the team at their Bayswater and Scoresby stores as the source, Thomas Warby, goes very long down the middle of the ground, and it might work out okay. Quick hand pass came out here. Kick around the body there from Cosson up towards half forward. Good luck trying to mark that. At the fall of the ball, here's an opportunity here for Parker. Gets a little hand pass over the top to Bronskis. Now to Paul Chadwick. It's a goal coming up here for Scoresby, and running in to the open goal for the first one for Scoresby was that man in Chris Hogle, and he puts it through. So Scoresby finally gets some reward for effort. 1-5-11 to Vermont, 1-1-7 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 17 minutes gone, and this is EFL Gameday, brought to you by the Pie Shed. See Mark and the team.
The really smart bit about that play then was David Marcius not getting sucked into the contest. 3 or 4 players went up, he hung off the back of it, and when the ball spilled over the back of the pack, he was able to run on and really set that play up for Scoresby with a chain of handballs, setting up Chris Hogle running into the open goal for the Magpies.
Tim Johnson needs to pay Hogle a lot of respect. I think Johnson's playing on him, and he needs to really stay tight on him.
Ball back in the middle of Bayswater Oval. The umpire threw it up. Who's going to get the clearance? It looks like it'll be Vermont. The handball came up by Leung. Wilson went wider and now up towards the Kelly direction, up on across the half-forward line for the Eagles. Wants to move it on quickly. Lachlan Johns switches the ball. Beautiful kick inside forward 50, getting down low, not quite taking the mark. Mendes was at the fall of the ball. He might actually get another chance here, Mendes, but swooping on it out wide. Ellis on the left boot, brings it around nicely, and Vermont have got their second goal on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 2-1-13. They get the lead back, Peter Baird. 1-5-11 Scoresby.
Oh, Vermont are going to do that to you. They're going to keep coming at you all day there. And that was really a spirited play by the Eagles. They ran the ball forward. They looked to try and take Scoresby on at their own game, moving the ball on at all costs. And when you can move the ball inside your forward 50 with such speed and precision like the Eagles can do in that situation, they're going to be a very dangerous team all afternoon.
We'll get our Akira Urgent Care boundary riders just to have a look at what's going on just down on the right half-forward flank. Paddy Tompkins. Looks like he's just hobbling off, not in a good way as well. As the ball's
Paddy Tompkins
back in the middle.
Oh, Wilson maybe.
As Taylor got the tap down for Vermont, but to no avail. We'll see a secondary ball up. It is Ben Wilson. So that's a big blow. So early on in the game, we don't want to be too low on defenders.
Has Williams gone down back to play on Dalton?
Might be. We'll follow that one with interest as Henley gets another clearance. Long kick inside 50. Galeno was there along with Wade McConnell. McConnell drags it in
boundary.
now. Umpire's brought out a free kick and it will go the way of Wade McConnell. Let's cross down boundary side to Braden Ingram thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Thanks, Ben. It's Ben Wilson who's just come off the ground now in the hands of both trainers. Can't put much weight on his leg at the moment, so we'll just see how he goes with the trainers in a second.
Good stuff, Braden. All thanks to Akira Urgent Care. Dean Kelly spears the ball inside 50. It was a poor kick and Scoresby a look to run out of defence here. He's got an open player in Chris Hogle. Can he mark? He can. He'll look to play on quickly. Johnson, good pressure though, held him up okay, but Hogle's got options ahead. He ran into Thomas Warby. Teammates running into each other. And the play's been held up here, so Chris Hogle in the middle of Bayswater Oval. Not quite sure what to do with it now. Goes out towards the outer side, and he's got a free man here in Jared Hicks. Of course, the Trojan tough man goes further afield to Marcius. Now further inboard, Mark's taken for Scoresby, so they'll look to work it in through Sean Cross. Been super consistent, Sean Cross, this year. 10 times he's been named in the best. He goes long, looking for
good running,
and finding that man in Jared Hicks, who works so hard to get into that position, and he'll go back from almost 30 metres out, slight angle, and look to put through Scoresby's his second goal on the board.
Yeah, he looks to be moving really well out there, Jared Hicks. We know he had that injury just a week and a half ago, but looks to have come up really well, and he's moving around, presenting a real marking target for them, so good work from Jared Hicks.
Comes in now, shouldn't be too difficult, in the long sleeves on a hot day, he's pulled it to the right. That's not what Scoresby want. They're 6th behind. They're 1-6-12 to Vermont, 2-1-13, 20.5 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. EFL Gameday, all thanks to the pie shed today, Frosty.
Yeah, I'll tell you something else that Vermont could probably look to take advantage of. Jared Dalton's been very physical early on, down when it's gone down their forward line, and losing Ben Wilson down there, he's probably the only one that can really go with him. Jared Mate's probably not big enough, so a match up there to watch, and something for the Eagles to try and exploit.
Ball across the defensive 50 zone for Vermont. We'll have a ball up. Let's cross down boundary side to Braden Ingram, thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Thanks, Ben. Just had a word at the Scoresby doc. Ben Wilson should be fine to come back on. Just a knock to the other left knee, but should be right to go.
Hicks versus Taylor. It nearly went into the arms of Taylor on the fall. The umpire will come in and bounce it again. 45 metres out from goal. Scoresby, they're currently trailing by 1 point. They've had 7 scoring shots to 3. Just struggling to put it through the big sticks. This time Hicks over the back. Mendes was first to meet it for Vermont. He'll earn himself a free kick. So Daniel Mendes on the left boot, kicks it up towards the wing position. It was a good kick too. It comes down towards his brother in Nick. Swings around on the right boot now, kicks it up further towards the half-forward line. Taylor in front spot, took a good mark on the second bite. Wants to keep the ball moving, so they go forward now through Johns, inside forward 50, looking for Galeno. He got one handle on it, picked up there by McConnon, got the handball away. That was good play. Got it across there to... I think it was Williams in the end, but they're going to get another chance at it. Vermont here. Mendy's got the little handball across. They're working it towards Johns at the top of the square. He's going to kick it to now in position. Carmody couldn't quite trap it. Fisted over and for 1 behind. That's Vermont's second, and on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard they moved to 2 goals 2-14. A 2-point gap, Peter Baird. 1 goal 6-12. The Scoresby Football Club.
Vermont looked to be much more settled in the way they're moving the ball from the first, very early on in the game. Came out, appeared very, very nervous, perhaps wondering how they're going to go without Ryan Mallett, but they looked to really settle and got into the groove of this game in the last 5 minutes.
The tattered one in Wade McConnon will bring it out, and he'll go towards the outer side at half-back. It's a 2-on-1 in favour of Vermont. Taylor's fist might work at okay. High kick towards the top of the goal square. Carmody and Ross are there. Carmody from behind. Ball came to ground. Dalton wasn't able to quite pick it up. Scoresby will look to rebound out of defence here. The quick kick comes out to our man, Ben Bronskis. Look at this one go. And it's a beautiful kick as well. Towards the advantage of Kirby McConnon. Will it sit for him? It bounced away from him. Good work there from that man in Cosson. Tries to keep it in here, and Wayne McConnon lays a solid tackle on Kyle Emley. Probably just a little overzealous there. Umpire said it was too high, and Kyle Emley received the free kick. Right half back for the Vermont Football Club. Chips it further afield. Mark taken by Xavier Barry Murphy, led a Young Gun nomination in season 2012. It goes back to Emley. It's a beautiful searching kick in the middle of Bayswater Oval. Mark taken by Daniel Mendes. Looks to move it on quickly up towards the half-forward line. Galeno was met in a very solid tackle by Wade McConnon, and they'll look to bring it out here through Goldsack. Chips it further afield, and the mark's been taken by that man Chadwick, Paul Chadwick. The Angry Anderson lookalike Paul Chadwick. Goes long towards half forward. Good searching kick for Chris Hogle. Took the mark on his chest. Played on quickly. Brought it inboard to Jaden Hogle. He takes a bounce. He might go all the way. Jaden Hogle likes on the left foot. 2 bounces. He kick was smothered. And Vermont will look to rebound out of defence. Clean bowled though was Dean Kelly. Emley gets a searching hand pass off. 2 players collide at centre half forward. Cross. Immediately tackled by Carmody. This is great footy to watch. And Vermont will look to come away off their half back line.
The kick goes up towards the centre half forward position. It might be a downfield free kick here to Henley. It will be. So just going on with that leg. A little bit of undisciplined play there. Just broke it up too as a hot footy. The kick goes inside forward 50 and coming out in front and taking a pretty decent old mark there.
Just a bit of undiscipline there from Tim Johnson. I mean, not from Tim Johnson, from...
Brett Legg.
Yeah, Brett Legg on Tim Johnson. Those things just hurt you in the finals, so just got to cut back on them.
So Adrian Galeno He's a clever player. He's going to wind around now on the left boot. He needs to straighten it up. The wind might work this one back beautifully. The goal umpire said it was touched on the line. So another minus score to the Vermont Football Club. They lead by 3 points at the 25-minute mark on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 2-3-15. Scoresby 1-6-12. Around the grounds, Ben
Around
Waterworth.
the grounds, Connor Ryan from the Leader Newspapers is out at Rowville-Mooroolbark, and the Hawks are flying, Peter Ben. They're up by 32 points early in the first term against Mooroolbark. You didn't see that one coming, Frosty?
I certainly didn't, but I'll tell you what, I'm pretty happy to hear it.
So from the kick out, we'll see a boundary throw in. Vermont certainly have lifted in the past 10 minutes. Boundary throw in 60 metres out from goal. Ball comes to ground, man in front for Scoresby. Picked up by Parker. Met there by Barry Murphy. And we'll see a boundary throw in exactly the same spot.
Just listening to Scott White today, he said that their focus has been on pressure, and I think that Scoresby's pressure has been really great this first quarter. So if they can produce that.
Well, they've produced a pretty darn good first term, have Scoresby, but they haven't been able to get reward for effort at quarter time. Vermont 2-3-15, Scoresby 1-6-12 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Quickly to you, Frosty.
Yeah, it's a great start by Vermont, though. Something that Scoresby have done really well this year is jump out of the blocks. They've won more first quarters than any other team in Division 1 this year. So for Vermont to lead them at quarter time, that's a fantastic start from the Eagles to really take that impetus away from Scoresby.
It's a great game happening out at Bayswater Oval. A 3-point lead to the Vermont Football Club at quarter time. It is 2-3-15 playing 1-6-12. There's plenty of other great finals happening in the Choose Tap final series as you go local for your football. Ben Waterworth will be back after this short break to give you all those scores around the grounds right here on EFL Game Day.
Hello, this is Kevin Morrish. If you're free on Tuesday nights between 8 and 11, I'd love you to join me for Moonlight Serenade. We could enjoy together 3 hours of tuneful music of many different sorts. I'll play some easy jazz and swing, some light classical music, and lots of songs from the great musicals of stage and screen. Why not tune in for Moonlight Serenade here on Radio Eastern 98.1 every Tuesday from 8 to 11 p.m.
Now, do you have sudden fever, aching body, sore throats, chills, nausea, headaches, and dizziness? It sounds like you need medical assistance urgently. It's difficult getting an immediate appointment with your GP when you need care fast. So come to Akira Urgent Care, where you don't need an appointment and you won't have to wait. They're Australia's first walk-in medical and emergency clinic. Walk in at 157 Scoresby Road, Roanoke, or phone them on 9839 3333. Akira Urgent Care, your health. Radio is 98.1. It's EFL Game Day between Vermont and Scoresby, and we'll return to the game in just a moment. And we're checking some AFL scores this afternoon. Some games being played, and one is over there in Adelaide, in Navy Stadium between Adelaide and the Gold Coast. And it's the 27-minute mark first quarter, and it's Adelaide 3-3-21 leading Gold Coast Suns 1-3-9. And the other one is down the road there at Simmons Stadium in Geelong between Geelong and the Sydney Swans. And it's the 15-minute mark of the second quarter, and it's Geelong 6-4-40 leading the Sydney Swans 5-6-36. We'll keep you up to date with all that's happening with AFL scores this afternoon, right here at Radio Eastern 98.1.
If you love your EFL footy like I do, and you love getting down to see your team play, you don't want to be spending your weekend stuck in the car driving. That's why I opened a Breeze account. Eastlink is the quickest, easiest way to get around Melbourne's east, and Tag's the cheapest way to use Eastlink. So open your Breeze account online at eastlink.com.au today and use Eastlink in the cheapest possible way with a Tag account. Instead of being stuck behind the wheel, I can have more time getting stuck into the umpire. Ball! Eastlink, it's time better spent, like at the footy.
Program sponsor. Desperate members, the budget's too tight? Never fear, because the team at T&V Window Warehouse has the right solution for you. We have surplus windows to suit the needs of any budget. We're located at 120 to 124 Bayfield Road East, Bayswater North. Give us a call, 8727-7506. That's 8727-7506. T&V Window Warehouse. Don't forget the name, part of the EAL and AW Transport Group. #1 in window transport. Program sponsor.
Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
A quarter of two halves here at Bayswater Oval, in the words of our special comments man Marcus Hoddies. Vermont 2-3-15, leading Scoresby 1-6-12. 3 points the margin here at quarter time. Some fascinating around the ground scores so far in Division 2 and in Division 4. Rowville have got the jump on Mooroolbark big time. 6-3-39 the Hawks, leading Mooroolbark 1 straight 6. Word is that Cody Morris has booted 3 in the first term. Very, very handy inclusion. Will be hard for the Barkers to claw their way back from there. And in Division 4, Will Taylor out at the game between Sylvan and Ferntree Gully. And it's Sylvan 4-5-29, leading Ferntree Gully 3-1-19. So awesome start for the Sylvan Footy Club. Apparently Ashford in very good form. Let's cross to Grant Campbell with some stats. Thanks to Yarra Valley Water. Be smart. Choose tap.
Contested possessions 31-26 Scoresby's way. Inside 50s was the story. Scoresby had the first 7 of the game, but it ended up 12 apiece. And a sign of that defensive pressure, effective tackle 17-16 Scoresby's way, and they've also had 4 forward 50 tackles to Vermont's 1. So a lot of pressure and a lot of stoppages so far.
Thank you very much to Grant Campbell. And out at the North Ringwood and the Glen Waverely Hawks game, North Ringwood have got the good start there. 5-1-31, leading the Glen Waverely Hawks 3-5-23. So 8 points is the margin in favour of North Ringwood. So just repeating those scores. Vermont by 3 points over Scoresby here in our radio game. Rowville by 33 points over Mooroolbark. North Ringwood by 8 points over the Glen Waverely Hawks. And Sylvan by 10 points over Ferntree Gully. Going on ladder positions, no surprises apparently. Well, Scoresby did finish ahead of Vermont, but that's a very close game here. Marcus, your summation on that first term, as you said, basically a quarter of two halves.
Yeah, exactly, Benny. Scoresby had a great start and were peppering the goals, but couldn't really take their opportunities. And Vermont held on for that first 15 minutes and then slowly worked their way back into the quarter. So, I'm looking forward to this second quarter, see if Scoresby start well again, because I think they need to.
Yeah, they need a good start. Chris Barlow certainly taking his time to dismiss the troops. Scoresby basically almost in position
Maybe
already.
It's a tactic.
Could be. Just repeating those scores. Vermont by 3 points. Rowville by 33 points over Mooroolbark. North Ringwood by 8 points over the Glen Waverely Hawks. And Sylvan by 10 points over Ferntree Gully. Ashford off to a very good start.
I still reckon Mooroolbark will beat Rowville.
You reckon?
Yep. Yeah, I reckon they'll. They started off slow last week, and they'll come back, I reckon.
Well, we
want to put a six-pack on it?
Let's cross down boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care, Braden Ingram.
Thank you, Ben. The message from the Scoresby coach, Scott White, at quarter time was that it was a good first 10 minutes, but they didn't capitalise on their opportunities. Really was happy with the early pressure, but they let them back into it, and wants to see that pressure continue in the second quarter. Also, going inside 50, wanted one-on-ones. Too often they were kicking to a contest and the ball was coming straight back out. And Scott White looking for a 10-point lead from his side at quarter time.
Thank you very much to Braden Ingram. Of course, Daniel Sensic was over at the Vermont huddle at quarter time, and it was a long huddle too. What did KB have to say?
Yeah, a fair bit said at that huddle, BWS. There was obviously, Braden talked about how the Scoresby camp said they were happy with the way they started, but didn't finish off the quarter out too well. Vermont was saying that they were happy with the way they were able to correct up after the last 5 or so minutes, but a tad lucky that Scoresby weren't able to hit the scoreboard. Of course, Vermont had 13 inside 50s to Scoresby's 11, so they dominated the latter part of the quarter, and of course 20 tackles to 17, so fantastic work there by Vermont.
Thank you very much to the boys down in the best spot in the house, down on the boundary line, thanks to Akira Urgent Care. We've got a 3-point ball game. It's just about to get underway here. The second quarter, Choose Tap Final Series, Division 1, Scoresby versus Vermont. And Vermont will be kicking to the Canterbury end here. This time it was Taylor got the knockdown against Van Reenen. They're going to try and squeeze it out. Marcia's got the handball onto Chadwick. Got it out towards Kirby McConnell, handballing it onto Marcia's. They've scrambled themselves inside forward 50. That was okay. Leg overrun it, picked up by Mitch Benuta. Got the handball out to Johns, and now the Eagles are going to clear themselves out towards the wing position. Nick Mendy's made himself into position A, took the mark. He's got Taylor up across the half forward line. If the big man can get there, he gets down low and takes a good mark. So Vermont, they've moved this ball nicely from the half back line. The kick now from Taylor goes inside forward 50, and it was an absolute shocker because Nathan Whale Buxton was in the right spot at the right time and he chopped it off. So Just inside the defensive zone for Scoresby.
Poor option then from Taylor. He didn't really hit up his target, and that's a very poor kick as well.
The target was Marcius, so that's okay because he got it back in the end. So the kick up towards the wing position. Taylor, he's found himself all alone in the first couple of minutes of this quarter, kicks it in towards the Millhouse direction. He takes the mark, wants to swing around now on that right boot, goes inside forward 50, and it's a little bit like kick to kick at the moment because chopping off and taking a good mark was Marcius. He wants to go short. Kirby McConnell's all by himself across the half-back line. He has a bounce. He has time. He might even be able to have another. Does so now. Swings around and switches the play across towards Tom Warby, who takes a mark on the half-back line. So pushing it out to the far side of the ground. Van Reenen made good space. He got the handball onto Marcius. He needs to squeeze a kick back into the middle of the ground. That was okay. Chadwick takes it. So they're taking their time a little bit more this time, Scoresby, as they go forward. Chadwick, the short passes on Van Reenen. You can't leave a big man all alone. Taylor and Van Reenen all by themselves in the early moments of this quarter. Kick inside forward 50. The fly there came down to Mendes. He got the handball across. It'll be Kyle Emley at the last line of defence to try and get this away. Hogel's in there, tried to get a boot to ball. It's right on that goal line. Emley might be able to squeeze this out. He does so now. Got it across to Barry Murphy. The switching kick finds Daniel Mendes on the half-back line.
So Mendes works around off half-back, and they've got a man in board, and that is Nick Mendes. Moves it on quickly towards true centre-wing position. Warby created the spillage and picks it up now. Hand pass was cut off, though, by Dean Kelly, and if he is able to get this off quickly, he's away. But good pressure came there from the Scoresby defence. Thomas Warby all wrapped up. Had an opportunity to get rid of it. Oh, geez. Dan Beard was very, very calm there, I would have thought. He did. And we'll see a ball up half-back here for Scoresby, half forward, right half forward flank. The Pies down by 3 points on EFL Gameday. Thanks for tuning in, whether you're on 98.1 FM or EFL.org.au. All thanks to the Pie Shed. See Mark and the team down there as hand pass comes out from Goldsack looking for Paul Chadwick, but he sees it over the boundary line and out of bounds. True centre wing position.
Just saw a hard hit on Nathan Henley there. Was slow to get up, so yeah.
In the sweet spot for that one. Henley had a very good first term, so he's important. Ball comes to ground. Daniel Mendes off to the run of Simon Taylor. Kicks up towards full forward. Galeno used his body really well. Great mark from Adrian Galeno. Just pushed off Wade McConnell very nicely and took a mark directly in front, 30 metres out, and this to put Vermont's third goal on the board, Frosty.
He's a very smart player, Adrian Galeno. He actually protected the drop zone of the ball then, used his body very well, and then was able to come back with that second effort and mark uncontested after using his body. So fantastic play there by Galeno.
So Adrian Galeno, for his first goal of the day, shouldn't have too many issues. Comes in on the left foot. The fist pump celebration means it's gone through. So Vermont get their third for the day. They go on to 3-3-21, leading Scoresby 1-6-12. 3.5 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. All thanks to the Pie Shed today on EFL Gameday.
Some worrying signs for me from Scoresby very early on is Adam Parker hasn't been able to get into the game at all. The Scoresby guys will be looking to try and get him involved because he's one of their prime movers. And Paul Chadwick probably had 2 or 3 opportunities though, but it's been just fumbled and hasn't been able to take clean possession. So they're 2 guys from Scoresby really need to get up and going to really get back into this game. They're only down by the 9 points, but this one, if Vermont can kick a couple more, could really get out of their reach very quickly.
Ball back in the middle of ground. Van Reenen palmed it down. The umpire will come and restart it. 9-point ball game.
Just those around the ground scores BWS. Rowville by 33 points over Mooroolbark. North Ringwood by 8 over the Glen Waverely Hawks. And Sylvan by 10 over Ferntree Gully.
Van Reenen got the knockdown. Vermont will get the clearance. Soupy as the ball goes up towards the half forward line. Meeting it was Carmody. Couldn't quite trap it. Also in there was Mendes. Cross. Jones. The ball somehow finds itself inside forward 50 into the arms of Galeno. Swings around now on the left boot. That was a good kick. Kicks it towards the Dalton direction. The big man might be able to mark this one, but at the fall of the ball,
yes,
Jared Dalton took it in the end. So he looked like a rover when he'd hit the deck, but the big man used his body nicely there, Peter Baird, and surely he's going to put this through from 20 metres out.
It was a really good kick then from Adrian Galeno, Marcus, because he had 2 big targets, and not only did he have Dalton, but he also had Simon Taylor, and it was Dalton at the fall of the ball at the back of the pack that was able to take the mark.
Yeah, definitely, Pete. And just their one-on-ones inside their forward 50, they're creating a lot of space, and my bag of 6 looks good at the moment.
Dalton's already kicked one. He makes the goal umpire work for it, but he's put it through the big sticks. A 4th goal on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard to the Vermont Football Club, and they move to 4 goals, 3-27. It's a 15-point ball game. Scoresby 1-6-12.
Yeah, we thought it might have been those big Vermont forwards forwards that created the headaches for Scott White and his Vermont Scoresby defenders. But Adrian Galino is really the man that's setting him a light up forward there. He's been very creative. He could have blazed away a goal then, but did the team thing and put it back into the hot spot at about 20 metres out directly in front. So that was fantastic play and really good decision making them from Galino.
So Dalton has 2 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. And we're back in the middle as Luke Van Reenen got the tap down. Umpires pulled out a free kick for a high tackle that will go the way of Kirby McConnon.
Give it back.
So Kirby McConnon with very unusual hairstyle. Speaking of hairstyles, Marcus Hodges does cut his own hair, so we'll look forward to hearing all about that at halftime today.
Anyone want a haircut? Just maybe ring up the radio station.
Yeah, no worries. 97229981 as Kirby McConnon goes long. Inside forward 50 scores. We have the numbers. Chris Hogel got a little hand pass off, and now works his way back to Sean Cross. Handball over the top was good to Chris Hogel. Opens up for Marcy. It's just a little too hot in the handball there. All inside that forward 50. 45 metres out from goal. Henley tries to extract the ball from this contest. A very unusual kick. Didn't go too far, and the players will be happy to have a ball up 45 metres out. Right forward flank from the Scoresby goal.
Chris Bell, I'd be really happy with the implied pressure that the Vermont players are putting on the Scoresby forwards there as they take the ball forward.
Yeah, Taylor got the tap down to no avail. And Mendes jumps on the footy. 4-3-27 Vermont. Scoresby 1-6-12 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. EFL Gameday on 98.1 FM or streaming on EFL.org.au. All thanks to the Pie Shed. See Mark Phelan and the team at the Bayswater and Scoresby stores, and we all know how good those pies were. Mark,
do we all?
Great job. Well, someone ate all the pies before you got here, BWS, unfortunately. Grant Campbell with 2 sausage rolls to his name. Taylor got the tap down on as far as Tim Johnson, looking for Henley. But the ball went over the boundary line and out of bounds. Just those around the ground scores, sorry, Marcus. Rowville by 33 over Mooroolbark, North Ringwood by 8 over Glen Waverely Hawks, and Sylvan by 10 over Fentress Gully.
I just think Vermont have a really big advantage in the ruck when Hicks is in the ruck. And I just think they can get on top of the midfield.
Well, interesting you say that, because Taylor actually took it out of the ruck and went from Dean Kelly, went up towards half forward. Dalton spilled the one-handed mark and is going to get a free kick for a high tackle here. Needs to move it quickly. He's got players inside forward 50 and in position 8. Or surely getting a free kick was Galino. Surely a free kick to Galino. Jared Major came across and it got him high, but the ball's gone over the behind line for a minor score. So Vermont going to 4-4-28 to Scoresby 1-6-12. 8 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank score, but this is EFL Game Day. Thanks to Pie Shed, Marcus.
Just the match-up, Williams on Dalton. I think it looks a bit dangerous at the moment, especially one-on-one. I think Dalton might be able to sort of get on top of him.
He's a lot stronger in the marking contest as well, and that's where the loss of Ben Wilson, if he's not able to come back, will really hurt Scoresby.
Yeah, definitely, Pete.
So Legg wants to use the far side of the ground for Scoresby. Big long kick out towards the Walby direction. Also down was Chadwick. Vermont will have the numbers here. Picked up that time by Ryan Wilson. Swings around on the left boot. Kicks it to centre half forward. Henley's there at the back of the pack. Fisted away by McConnon. That was good play. Still across that centre half forward line. They're going to come away with it this time. Ben Wilson kicks it into the middle of the ground. It was an absolute shank. And chopping it off his Millhouse. Swings around on the left boot. Kicks it up towards the half forward line. Looks like the Eagles have got some numbers out here. Good mark taken by Jared Dalton. Further out than what he usually is, about 80 metres out from goal, goes to Dean Kelly. What a centimetre perfect pass that was, Kelly. He started his run from about the 20 metre mark, and he'll kick from about 45 on a 45-degree angle to kick Vermont's 5th.
Been quiet, Dean Kelly, I reckon, but he's one guy that, if he starts kicking a few goals and gets the confidence up, he could get dangerous as well.
They currently lead by 16 points. Vermont, Dean Kelly crosses the 50 now. He winds around. It's a good-looking kick off the boot. He's got a lot of class. Dean Kelly slams it home and salutes the crowd too. Vermont on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Skip away to 5-4-34. It's a 22-point margin now, Peter Baird. And Scoresby 1-6-12.
Yeah, it's what I was saying just a couple of minutes ago there. There's really danger signs at the moment for Scoresby. Their prime movers aren't really getting involved. Guys like Chadwick and Parker. And Vermont have that ability to put goals on the board in a hurry. But that really looked like a set play then, the way they set up for that play. They left a lot of space in front of Dean Kelly, and Jared Dalton knew that Kelly would be coming straight into that hole about 30 metres out from goal, and just really well drilled and great setup there from Chris Barlow on his side.
That tip of yours, Marcus Hodges, of Mooroolbark getting up isn't looking great at the moment, because the Hawks are up by 39 points around the grounds at Jubilee Park. As Scoresby go forward, they need to try and get the quick replying goal here. Emily lays the tackle about 30 metres out from goal, and we'll see a ball up.
Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap.
Vermont only had the 1 mark inside 50 in the first quarter, already 3 marks inside 50, and they've kicked a goal with each of those this quarter.
Dangerous position here for the Vermont defences. Hicks went up in the ruck, got it down to Sean Cross, but he's immediately set upon by Mitch Bernuda. And we'll see a ball up in the right forward pocket for Scoresby. They currently trail by 22 points. Vermont 5-4-34 to Scoresby 1-6-12 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. This is EFL Game Day, all thanks to the Pie Shed today. Ball up occurs. Beautiful hands from Mendez to Kelly, the goal kicker. Now finds himself at half-back. The kick was just over the head of his teammate and Travis Bird. And we'll see a ball up right in front, boundary thrown, I should say, right in front of Chris Barlow and the Vermont coaching team. Close to centre wing here on the broadcast side.
Just getting on top in the midfield, I think, Vermont, just as the quarter's gone on, especially Robbie Ross in the ruck now.
So Ross and Van Reenen go at it. Ross got the tap down, looking for a teammate, but to no avail. Kick comes out here from Parker, up towards the full forward area. Dangerous position. Marcius was there, but taking a great mark at the back there was Tim Johnson, and he'll look to rebound off half-back for the Eagles.
Well, Johnson's got a player in short in Dave Leung, so he wants to switch the ball back. It was very dangerous, so in the back pocket, Millhouse swings around on the right boot, kicks it out of the danger zone. A beautiful pass it was too, because he found his teammate out there in Shane Davidson, wanted to keep the ball moving. That was okay. Johnson scrambled to kick up towards the wing position over the boundary line and out of bounds. Great crowd out here at Bayswater Oval. Still plenty of time to get down here in a sun-drenched afternoon. It's a 22-point margin on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard to the Vermont Football Club. 5-4-34, plays 1-6-12. Van Reenen had the front spot. Ross took the kick out of the ruck duel, kicked it up towards the half-forward line. Taken away was McConnon. In fact, it was Tompkins, but bursts away up towards the half-forward line. Out-muscled and giving away a free kick, Mitch Bernuda. He wasn't too impressed about that one too, so it'll be Jared Hicks in the middle of the ground. Wants to find up a target, finds Kirby McConnon. He's got a lot of speed, Kirby McConnon.
Lucas Gibbons.
Continuously finds the space inside forward 50. The ball goes down towards the direction of Ben Wilson. Couldn't quite keep it in. Tried to find Ben Bronski. He's laying a pretty hefty tackle. The umpire will come in and eventually bounce it 40 metres out from goal.
Bit of a surprise, Ben Wilson playing up forward.
Yeah, that is a surprise, because they probably need his strength down back on a goal like Dalton, who's really starting to hurt them at the other end of the ground.
Ross got a good fist away from the knockdown, but we'll have another bounce. McConnon couldn't go anywhere, wrapped up by Grant McCarthy. 40 metres out from goal. Scoresby need a goal. They trail it here by 22 points, 1-6-12. Vermont 5-4-34. Vermont through Dean Kelly are going to get it out of the danger zone. The ball's banged on the boot up towards the wing position. Paddling it to his advantage was Carmody. Couldn't quite trap it. Jared Major on his hammer. Brenton Legg got the handball out wide to Ryan Wilson. Oh, look at the tackling going on from both sides. It's fantastic on that outer wing, and we'll have a bounce. 13 and a half minutes gone here.
Something Scoresby have been very good at doing this year is being able to change up their game plan when things haven't worked. Now's the time for Scott White to start thinking about plan B, because Vermont are really starting to get on top around those stoppages.
The umpire throws it up over the back. Ross knocked it down. Good tackle there by Legg. It paddles out towards the Mendy's direction. He wants to see it over the boundary line, and eventually we'll have a throw in. Centre wing, Bayswater Oval.
Let's cross to Grant Campbell with some stats, thanks to Cheese Tap.
Last 5 hitouts to Vermont, they lead that 11-6 this quarter.
As the umpire's plucked out a free kick out of the throw-in, it'll go to Van Reenen, who had the front spot. So, wasting no time, floats a kick up towards centre half forward. Hicks is there. He had the front posse. Ben Bronquist was down low, also to his Parker. Good play by Dave Leung. He nearly copped one high. Parker goes again. The umpire will come and bounce it about 55 metres out from the Scoresby goal.
Just around the grounds, Rowville up by 6 goals, just over 6 goals against Mooroolbark. North Ringwood with a tight lead over the Glen Waverely Hawks, and Sylvan by 10 points over Fenchurch Gully.
The umpire once again, Ross. Got a good fist on it. Legg runs it over another time.
Adam Parker just hopefully can get into the game. Second half of this quarter, he's just been a bit quiet.
Just can't get into the right spot at the moment to find the ball and get using that chain as they try and take the ball forward.
Well, the umpire threw it in. It looks like we'll have another stoppage. So Marcius going nowhere. So last 5 minutes, slowed down a little bit. A lot of players following the ball. Still anyone's game. It's a 22-point margin to Vermont. Scoresby started so well, but kicked 5 behinds before they managed to put a major on the ball, but they might get their chance now as they go inside forward 50. The kick was an absolute shank as well. Bronski's just waiting for it on the outside. He needed to go in and help a teammate, but Millhouse now for the Eagles is going to clear the kick up towards the wing position. Needed to find Dalton, and he used his body magnificently to take the mark. Just waiting for players now, waiting for teammates to stream down. He wants to go for the right option. The umpire's going to call him on. Jared Dalton surges the ball inside forward 50 towards the Carmody direction, and Henley over the back of the pack. Mendes is in there. They're going to have the numbers. So picked up there by Alice, got the handball away, then eventually scrambled a kick to the top of the goal square where Dave Leung there. He just needs to pick it up and put it on his boot. Top of the goal square. Oh, nearly copping a free kick there was leg. The umpire's going to come in and bounce it now. It's a hot footy 10 metres out from goal down at Vermont's end. So they couldn't afford to let another one go through here, Scoresby. Been down their forward line for the last couple of minutes. Van Reenen knocks it down. Might eventually paddle itself over for a boundary throw in. Jared Major seeing it over. So right next to that behind post, right forward pocket. 16 minutes gone. Vermont look like they might be able to get a score out of this. The pack forms, the umpire throws it in. Oh, trying to trap it on the last line was Davidson. And Brenton Leggs got his opponent nicely wrapped up. 25 metres out from goal. The
umpires are letting a lot go today, I've noticed. So unless it's really there, they're not paying the free kicks. So I guess that's a good thing in a final.
It's definitely what we want to see. The umpire throws it up. Van Reenen knocked it backwards. Still in that danger zone. Leung scrambled a kick out towards Bird. Davidson's in there too. Another boundary throw in now on the left-hand side of Bayswater Oval. 16 minutes gone.
It's an update around the grounds. Toolmore Reserve, Sylvan 6-5-41 to Furniture Gully 4-2-26. The boundary throw in occurs 30 metres out from the Vermont goal. They're under a lot of pressure at the moment of the Scoresby defence. They try and win it out. Trying to barge his way through there was Lucas Gibbons, but he's not successful. I'm just noticing the sort of the fringe haircut of Gibbons, of Kirby McConnell. Just seems to be a bit of a trend out of the Scoresby Football Club at the moment. Interesting to know what Scott White feels about that. Look forward to chatting to him after the game about that, if it's a Scoresby win only. As Scoresby try to come out of defence here. Good tackle late there by Nick Mendes. An umpire calls for yet another stoppage. Grant Cam, I'm not sure if you're taking the stoppage count at the moment, but there seems to have been a fair bit, thanks to Choose Tap of late.
There has been. Hit-outs 14-11 now in favour of Vermont. The clearances 9-7 in favour of Vermont.
Taylor got the tap down. Major. Good tackle laid there by Carmody, and we're going to see another ball up 30 metres out from goal, Frosty.
Just interesting to get your take on it, Marcus, as a midfielder here, but it almost looks like the Scoresby players around the stoppages are waiting to lay the tackle rather than go in and get the ball and feed it out themselves.
Yeah, definitely. They're just a little bit reactive than proactive, and they need it's all in the head. So it's all in mental, and if they can just get a bit of fire going, then they'll be right.
Free kick has ended up with Scoresby, and Chadwick kicks long out towards Whale Buxton. In position there was Grant McCarthy. He looked to bring it out, but Scoresby the numbers here through cross. Handball over the top to Kevin McConnell. Didn't get a good hand pass though. Henley tries to paddle in front of himself, but a beautiful hand pass from McConnell to Paul Chadwick. The Foss on the left foot towards goal. It's touched through for a minor score. Promising play there for the Pies, but they cannot get reward for effort. Scoresby 1-7-13 to Vermont 5-4-34 on the Minigo Bank scoreboard. 8.5 minutes gone, and it's on EFL Gameday. All thanks to the Pie Shed. See Mark and the team at Bayswater or Scoresby.
Great third effort there by Kirby McConnell to keep the ball alive. Johns kicks the ball out now towards the wing position for Vermont. The mark's been taken by Mendes. So just slowing things down. It was a beautiful execution of the pass from the kick in. So the mark's been taken by Dave Edgecombe. Far side of the ground, true centre wing position, kicks it up towards centre half forward now. Scoresby look to have the numbers. McConnell and Tompkins were there. Tompkins got a knockdown. Dalton, the big man, gets down on all fours. We'll have a bounce just inside the 50-metre zone for Vermont. Currently lead at 5-4-34. Scoresby 1-7-13. 19 minutes gone. Almost hit time on. No one got the clear knockout that time. Scoresby get the clearance up towards the wing position. Front spot out there. Bronskis takes the mark. So Ben Bronskis, clear favourite of Frosty and BW. Sets the ball up towards the centre half forward position now. Taylor came streaming across, but Scoresby have the numbers across the front of the pack. The handball comes in towards the Chadwick direction. That was good running. Paul Chadwick from outside 50 sends the ball very, very long. It's going to bounce. And Shane Davidson at the last line of defence just happily sees it over for one behind, pushing on Scoresby on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard to 1 goal 9-15. Still trailing though. 19 points the margin, 5-4-34.
Just an update from Toolmore Reserve. Sylvan 6-5-41 to Ferntree Gully 5-2-32. So the Eagles making a little bit of a mini comeback there as the ball comes out from Vermont's defensive line, and we'll see a ball up. Tell us about Paul Chadwick, Marcus. He seems to be the only Scoresby midfielder at the moment who's prepared to or looks like breaking the game open. Yeah,
I'd have to agree with that. He's creating a lot of run, and I think that's what they need at the moment. If you can run it, 15 to 20 metres and then kick it 40, your 60-metre link up. So he's providing a lot of run, which is good for Scoresby at the moment.
Stolen by Davidson, and he kicks up towards Nathan Henley in the full forward area. Dalton goes back to Henley, now towards Davidson again, but picked up here to kick towards the top of the goal square. Might be good for Galeno. Comes out, couldn't quite hold the mark. Good ball from behind there from Wayne McConnon, and Thomas Warby goes through the middle. It's a beautiful kick as well from Wale Buxton. Needs to move it quickly, but it's an absolute spud of a kick off the foot, and it will go over the boundary line and out of bounds. True centering position here at Bayswater Oval. It's 5-4-34. Vermont to Scoresby 1-8-14. 21 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Grant Campbell thanks to Choose Tap.
Kicks this quarter 39-24 in favour of Vermont.
Right in front of us here on the broadcast position, Ross palmed it down. The ball went nowhere. We'll have another bounce.
The other thing Vermont are doing really well, and Chris Barlow's standing by his convictions here. Every time that the Scoresby halfbacks try and push up and congest, the Vermont defenders forwards push forward to make them their Scoresby.
It was a beautiful knockdown by Ross. It cut off there by Tompkins. Got it across to Cross. Leg got the handball away to Marcius. Over the top now, Tompkins. That was good running. They're using the handball, but they had too many. Alice kick was half smothered. Picked up by Mendes. Got it across there to McCarthy. Somehow squeezed a left foot kick inside forward 50. The front spot was there, and it wasn't 1-2 because Leg snaps it around the body now for Scoresby up towards Tompkins. He just couldn't quite trap it. I'm not sure whether it would have gone far enough anyway. Over the boundary line and out of bounds here.
Great little battle going on up forward between Galeno and Wade McConnon today.
Certainly is. The umpire throws it in. Van Reenen had the front spot. Johns kicking in danger off the ground. The umpire saw it. So it'll be a free kick to Jones for Scoresby. Got players in the middle. Jaden Hogle, the ball needs to sit up for him. He's just got to get out of that first gear and actually attack it because Henley's right on his hammer. Hogle now manages to trap the ball. He needed some running support. He received it. Mark Williams now kicks it out towards the wing position up forwards. Herbie McConnon, he needed the support. Williams was up to the task too. The old 1-2 inside forward 50. Bronski's front spot takes it on the second bite. So Ben Bronski's about 55 metres out. Wants to go short to Paul Chadwick and he finds him. So the Bald Nuggets working well together. And Scoresby will have a shot for goal for their second on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Grant Campbell.
That was only Scoresby's second mark inside 50 for the match. That's one area they need to improve.
So it's a really important kick now for the Scoresby Football Club as we cross the 23-minute mark in the second term. They've only kicked the one for the afternoon, and now the ball's in the arms of Paul Chadwick, who sends it very long to the top of the goal square. Front spot, beautiful mark there taken by Marcius. Cossin, in fact, and he takes it about 20 metres out, and he's surely going to now put through the Magpies second, and that's exactly what they need.
Yeah, that was pretty poor checking them from Vermont. No one went up and contested with Cossin. They were more worried about who else was doing what, and Cossin was able to chip in from the side and mark uncontested.
He's got to kick this one, and he puts it straight over the goal umpire's head. Scoresby on the Bendigo Bank scoreboards now move on to 2 goals, 8-20. They're still trailing by 14 points, so well and truly still alive in this game. Vermont 5-4-34.
It'd be an understatement to say Scoresby needed that one, but for all Vermont's dominance early on in this quarter, they've only opened up that 14-point lead. So Scott White wouldn't be too disappointed with how dominant Scoresby have been in the early stages of this second term.
And Paul Chadwick, he's the kind of guy that gets under the radar because you've got guys like Parker, Marcius, Cross and the Hogles. So he really gets under the radar. He's playing at half forward, and he's just a smart footy player too. So he's having a good quarter.
So the Eagles lead by 14 points on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. This is EFL Gameday on 98.1 FM and of course streaming on efl.org.au. Thanks for your company. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. All thanks to the Pie Shed. See Mark and the team out there at their Bayswater and Scoresby stores as Vermont look to ring it around the outer side. Davidson Hospital hand pass over the top. David Leung just stole it off his teammate and went over the boundary line and out of bounds. Let's cross down to Braden Ingram, thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Thank you, Ben. Still pretty warm down here, seeing plenty of interchanges. And just a remark on the play, the intensity from Scoresby certainly lifted in the last 5 minutes. They've struggled up until now, other than in the first 5 minutes, and now to get that goal, certainly the intensity's lifted. Thanks very much to Braden. Thanks to Akira Urgent Care. Henley goes long inside for Dick Galena.
Oh! Jared Dalton! Sue! Wow, he flew like you would not believe on the siren. Jared Dalton takes one of the best marks you will ever see. Put the one leg up, as clean as you like in the two dukes. Most importantly, if he kicks this goal, Vermont will go into halftime with a 20-point lead.
I thought he got up a bit too early, but he just was up there and stayed up there, didn't he?
Rode it well.
So Jared Dalton comes in now to kick his third goal of the day. He makes no mistake.
Look at his Vermont teammates get around him there. Ben Waterworth, I reckon you've just found your highlight for next week's edition of EFL TV.
Jared Dalton kicks his third. He's got half of Vermont's scores. He's halfway to kicking 6 Marcus Hotties. Vermont 6-4-40 to Scoresby 2-8-20. It was a short quarter, 24 minutes on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Just have a look at the difference in body language between the two teams coming off the ground at the moment. A real spring in the step of the Vermont players. They're coming off with a real bounce, but those Scoresby players, they're sort of hanging their heads. They're wondering what's happened here. I reckon they would have gone into this game very confident. I'm not sure if that same confidence is there. They're huddling together and a few heads about as they're really having a real soul-searching session on the middle of Bayswater Oval.
And getting a rousing reception as they so well deserve as well. Qualifying final day out at Bayswater Oval with Vermont leading it 6-4-40, Scoresby 2-8-20. It's all happening here and of course everywhere else in the True Stat final series. As you go local for your footy, Ben Waterworth will bring us all those important around the ground scores right after this on EFL Gameday.
Saturday night is party night on Radio Eastern when we bring you the Platter Parade, 7 to 10. We roll through 50 years of timeless classics, guaranteed to make your party get with a swing. So put on your dancing shoes and join our team of presenters for the Platter Parade. More than just the hits, Saturday nights at 7 on Radio Eastern 98.1 or anywhere in the meter park. Saturday night is party night on Radio Eastern when we bring you the Platter Parade, 7 to 10. We roll through 50 years of timeless classics, guaranteed to make your party get with a swing. So put on your dancing shoes and join our team of presenters for the Platter Parade. More than just the hits, Saturday nights at 7 on Radio Eastern 98.1 or anywhere in the meter park.
Now, what do you do when you have a medical emergency? The emergency departments do a great job. They're always busy and often have long waiting times. Private hospitals charge you $280 more for additional services. But with Akira Urgent Care, there's no waiting, and you only pay a maximum of $150 out of pocket, which includes other diagnostic services you may need. So which option should you choose? Akira Urgent Care, Australia's first walk-in medical and emergency clinic. Walk in at 157 Scoresby Road or phone them on 9839-3333. That's 9839-3333. Akira Urgent Care, your health. Radio Eastern 98.1, it's a quarter after 3, it's half time. Now, big game this afternoon between Scoresby and Vermont, and we'll get back there very shortly with the team to give us a wrap for the first half. But first of all, let's check some AFL scores.
Yes, thanks very much, Barry. Damien Watson here with the AFL scores at half-time of the EFL match. The couple of matches currently taking place in the AFL today. Arguably the match of the day is between Geelong and Sydney down at Simmons Stadium in Geelong, and it's the home side leading by 9 points at the major break. 7-5-47 of the Cats to Sydney 5-8-38. Paul Chapman and Jarrod McVeigh are the only major goal scorers for Geelong and Sydney respectively, with 2 goals apiece, and the leading possession getter on the ground, Jarrod McVeigh with hits. Meanwhile, in the other game currently taking place, out at Amy Stadium in Adelaide this afternoon. It is the Crows holding a 4-goal lead over the Gold Coast Suns at the 25-minute mark of the second term. 7-12-54 are the Crows to the Suns, 4-6-30. So the Suns grimly hanging on there late in the second quarter. The only major goal scorers for match are on the Adelaide side of the park, and Patrick Dangerfield and Graham Johncock, two seasoned players for the Crows, have 2 goals apiece. Meanwhile, Gary Ablett is the leading possession getter on the ground, predictably with 18 disposals thus far. Back to you, Barry.
Yes, and I guess he's probably picking up a few votes for the big Brownlow in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, predictably, as I said.
Yes, exactly indeed. Thanks very much, Damon, for that. And we'll keep you up to date with AFL scores right through the afternoon. Right here, Radio 98.1 Radio Eastern, it's EFL Game Day.
Every club expects high performance from their team. At Ferntree Gully Holden, you'll find the latest high-performance vehicles in the HSV range, and the team will give you the best possible deal. So if you're looking for a high-performance HSV, look no further than Ferntree Gully Holden, Burwood Highway, Ferntree Gully, for a great deal, or visit www.ftgmotor.com.au. Ferntree Gully Holden, your community dealer. LMCT 443, a proud supporter of the Eastern Football League and Radio Eastern.
If you love your EFL footy like I do and you love getting down to see your team play, you don't want to be spending your weekend stuck in the car driving. That's why I opened a Breeze account. Eastlink is the quickest, easiest way to get around Melbourne's east, and Tags are the cheapest way to use Eastlink. So open your Breeze account online at eastlink.com.au today and use Eastlink in the cheapest possible way with a Tag account. Instead of being stuck behind the wheel, I can have more time getting stuck into the umpire. Ball! Eastlink, it's time better spent, like at the footy.
Program sponsor. In desperate need of some windows but your budget's too tight? Never fear, because the team at T&B Window Warehouse has the right solution for you. We have surplus windows to suit the needs of any budget. We're located at 120 to 124 Bayfield Road East, Bayswater North. Give us a call, 8727 7506. That's 8727 7506. T&B Window Warehouse. Don't forget the name, part of the EAL and AW Transport Group. Number 1 in window transport. Program sponsor.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Half-time here in the Division 1 Choose Tap qualifying final. I think we're all just in awe and just sort of taking our breath after what we just saw from Jared Dalton, who is playing, well, he'd be close to best on ground at the moment. He's kicked 3 goals of Vermont 6, and Vermont leads 6-4-40 to Scoresby 2-8-20. An absolutely amazing mark from Jared Dalton. I'm sure you'll see that many times throughout the week on EFL TV and, of course, on EFL.org.au. Just a couple of other around-the-ground scores here on EFL Game Day, thanks to the Pie Shed. Rowville, 9-5-58, leading Mooroolbark 2-1-13. 45 points is the margin at half-time. And Sylvan, 7-9-51, leading Ferntree Gully 5-3-33. Just waiting for the North Ringwood-Glen Waverely Hawks score to come through to us. It was the game was running a little bit later than all 3 other games, so I'll bring that to you as soon as we get that to hands. And in the other game, yes, Rowville by 33 points. It was at quarter time. Cody Morris had kicked 3, but I think he had kicked 4 at that time. So it's Vermont by 20 points and Scoresby 2-8-20. And just repeating, Rowville 9-5-58, leading Mooroolbark 2-1-13, and Sylvan 7-9-51, leading Ferntree Gully 5-3-33. But as we do every week, it's time to cross over the Nine News studios to find out what's happening around the world. And as he does every week, it's time to catch up with Nine News sports presenter Clint Stanaway. Good afternoon to you, Clint.
Ben, how are you? How's your call, more importantly?
It's going okay. We just saw an absolute ripping mark. Probably one of the best marks we've seen certainly this year. So it's going okay from Vermont. They lead by 20 points. But you're watching a very interesting round of AFL action, I'm sure, with a big game between Geelong and Sydney.
Absolutely. The Cats up by 7 points at the moment. Paul Chapman could be the big story out of this game because he's been reported for striking. Ooh. And Corey Norris, according to him, he's in a bit of trouble, Chappie. A hit to the head on Ben McGlynn and it drew a bit of blood, so watch this space. Goodbye winter, it's September. That means AFL finals are, of course, upon us. Hawthorn set the tone last night. Minor premiers for the first time since '89. Tonight, It's Collingwood's turn to make a statement, and our very own Ayrton Woolley, he'll be there live to preview that match. He's also done really well today to catch up with Brent Guerra at Hawthorn Recovery. His finals dream, of course, shattered by a hamstring injury, so we speak to him at 6. Also, some really nice vision of Brett Ratton saying farewell to the Blues faithful at his last training session in charge. So plenty on the footy front. But also in 9 News at 6, more details have emerged about this 5-week Hoon Blitz we're about to see. It's going to target drivers in Dandenong, the city of Yarra, Casey, Darebin, Whittlesea, Hume and Geelong. Now, it's been welcomed by victims of road trauma. And Ben, I know that the EFL do a lot of work supporting, obviously, road safe. So just really important to keep, that message filtering through.
Absolutely, no doubt about that. Connect East do a great job, run the Road Safe program for all our under-19. So looking forward to that one.
Now, just a little bit of other news. Melbourne's real estate bonanza. We reveal the city's spring hotspots, many out there in the eastern suburbs. Hillary Clinton, she's offered her condolences over the deaths of 5 Aussie troops. And how about this one? The Janoskians. Ben, you'd be right across what they're about?
Yeah, the Janoskians, inform me.
I'll tell you, they're 5 Aussie teenage lads who I'm told do some pretty amazing stunts. Anyway, the girls have gone crazy for them. Thousands turned out at the showgrounds to see them. Not too dissimilar to the scenes we saw a few months ago at Ringwood at the Little Legends Footy Clinic when people were queuing to meet Ben Waterworth and to get his autograph.
You talk a lot of crap, Clint Stanaway. I'm sure they were queuing up to get your autograph, weren't they?
It was all about you, Betty. We know that. Now, just finally, lots happening in sport. Bernard Tomic accused of tanking, would you believe, by John McEnroe. Our cricketers beaten by Pakistan, and the latest from the Paralympics where our athletes, it's been a gold rush over there. Good luck to them too. They're performing brilliantly.
Absolutely. Actually, just thinking about that, the queuing of the autograph, I'm pretty sure Peter Hitchener probably was the most charismatic man at the Little Legends Clinic.
He did us all, didn't he? But they were pretty keen just to meet you and to hear your dulcet tones.
On that beautiful note, Clint Stanaway, we might leave it there before my ego just goes through the roof. Good to catch up with you always, and we'll see you at 6 o'clock tonight for 9 News.
Thanks, Betty. Good calling, mate.
Good on you. Clint Stanaway out there for 9 News out there at the Dockland Studios. Always does a great job at 6 o'clock every weeknight. Scoresby and Vermont is our game here for broadcast, and it's Vermont 5-4-40 leading Scoresby 2-8-20. So the Eagles in front by 20 points. Rowville 9-5-58 leading Mooroolbark 2-1-13. 45 points is the margin in that game. Just got a score through from North Ringwood and the Glen Waverely Hawks, and North Ringwood have kicked 5 goals to 3 like they did in the first term against the Glen Waverely Hawks. So North Ringwood 10-4-64 leading the Glen Waverely Hawks 6-6-42. And Will Taylor covering the game out there between Sylvan and Ferntree Gully at Tormore Reserve. It is Sylvan 7-9-51 leading Ferntree Gully 5-3-33. So 18 points the margin there is Sylvan. They lead by Ferntree Gully. North Ringwood by 22 over the Glen Waverely Hawks, and Rowville by 45 points over Mooroolbark. And of course here in our radio game it's Vermont by 20 points. Just running through those goal kickers here in the radio game. It's Dalton had 3, but I think most people will be talking about that mark on half-time. Dean Kelly with 1, Adrian Galeno with 1, and Andrew Ellis also with 1 for Vermont. And just the 2 goal kickers for the Scoresby Football Club. And one went to Bo Cosson and the other went to Chris Hogle. So goal kickers each there. Now let's cross out to Jubilee Park for a report on the Rowville and Mooroolbark game. And we're blown away here by this score at halftime. It's Rowville 9-5-58 to Mooroolbark 2-1-13. It's now time to cross out to Brad Henderson. Brad, thanks for joining us. Are you surprised as what we are about this score right now?
Well, g'day, Benny. I am surprised, but I suppose it's one of those things where when you're at the game and you're watching it unfold, you realise that that scoreline very much reflects the way the game's panned out. Like, Rowville has been awesome so far today. I couldn't be more impressed with just their apart from their tenacity at the footy, which has been, finals like, as you expect in cutthroat games like a preliminary final, their skill level, both under pressure and also just also when they've sort of been on the outside has been fantastic. And I suppose if there's a criticism of Mooroolbark, it's that they're not putting enough pressure on Rowville, and Rowville at the moment are sort of being able to dictate to them to a large extent. But it's been a surprise to say the least, and I think as impressive as Rowville have been, that's as disappointing as Mooroolbark have been for the first half so far.
I'm absolutely certain about that. No doubt about that, Brad. Just one quick one before you let you go. Cody Morris, we understand he's having a pretty good game.
Well, he's having a great game. Trent Giorgio's lined up on him at the start of the match. Gavin Willoughby was the player who got the job on Kadir Talevski. So that, I guess that was obviously going to... Well, there was a chance of a bit of a shootout today, of course, with those two fantastic full forwards. Cody Morris kicked the first 2 goals of the game, and since then he's added another 2, so he's got 4 to half-time. And Trent Giorgio sort of hasn't done too bad a job, but it's coming in there pretty often. And I guess, like for Talevski, he hasn't had a sniff of it so far, but that's mainly been because of the fact the ball just hasn't been coming anywhere near him. So Rowville have really dictated terms, and obviously there was some debate over whether Cody Morris would play this year, but when you watch him in action, you realise what a class player he is. He takes the best opponent from the opposition every week, and to me it's a no-brainer. And I think Rowville would be very glad that they decide to bring him back into the side and make a big difference at the moment. As is Matthew Jackson, Adam Zigerink, and also Michael Bussey down back. Been particularly impressed with his game. They've all been fantastic. But in brilliant conditions here, Ben, I'm sure it's the same at Bayswater. Yep. Beautiful sunshine. But unfortunately for Mooroolbark, there's not too much to smile about to half-time, as they trail by 46 points.
They do. Rowville 9-5-58 to Mooroolbark 2-1-13. Good on you, Brad. We'll chat to you after the game.
Okay, thanks, Ben.
Brad Henderson out there at Rowville and Mooroolbark. What we might do, Barry, is we'll take a very short break before we get stuck back into the action here at in the second half. It's Vermont and Scoresby. Vermont 6-4-40 leading Scoresby 2-8-20. This is EFL Game Day on 98.1 FM and, of course, streaming on efl.org.au. All thanks to the Pie Shed. See Mark and the team out there at Bayswater and Scoresby. We'll come back with more right after the break here on EFL Game Day.
Hi, I'm Barry Mackay.
And I'm William Broome.
Hey, Groovers, if you like 60s, 70s and 80s music, then tune in to It's Time.
Yeah, we're the show where we look at the top 10 singles from this week, from 1 year between 1965 and 1985.
Hey, Groovers, it's super bad.
Desperate need of some windows, but your budget's too tight? Never fear, because the team at T&V Window Warehouse has the right solution for you. We have surplus windows to suit the needs of any budget. We're located at 120 to 124 Bayfield Road East, Bayswater North. Give us a call, 8727-7506. That's 8727-7506. T&V Window Warehouse. Don't forget the name, part of the PAL and AW Transport Group. Number 1 in window transport. Program sponsor.
In footy, the best players always get tagged. In Melbourne, the best and cheapest way to get around the tollways is to get your car tagged. That's because a Breeze account works on EastLink and it works on CityLink too.
Bring it back, Barry.
A tag's also the cheapest way to use EastLink and CityLink. So open your Breeze account online at eastlink.com.au and start winning as a tagger today. Speaking of winning, my team's a sure thing for 4 points today and maybe the premiership. Come on up, that was in the back. EastLink, it's time better spent, like at the footy.
Program sponsor.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
Second half about to get underway. Qualifying final day out at Bayswater Oval. It is Vermont leading 6-4-40, 20 points ahead of Scoresby at half-time, who are 2-8-20. The umpire holds the ball aloft in the middle of the ground, and we're about to get underway in the Choose Tap final series second half, and it'll be Taylor versus Van Reen, and Taylor got that one. It came straight down to Mendes. He needed to go backwards. That was good play there. Ryan Wilson now winds up, kicks it inside forward 50. The kick had to be good. It's just gone over the back.
Boundary.
Of the head of Dalton, and we'll have a boundary throw in left forward pocket. So it's a hot footy. We'll cross down boundary side very quickly thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Thanks, BWS. News from the Scoresby interchange. Ben Wilson done for the day. Got the tracksuit on, got injured in the quarter, came back on, but he's done for the day.
The umpire threw it down. Van Reenen had front spot. Then he tried to create the shepherd there for cross. Kirby McConnell on hands and knees. Still in that danger zone for Vermont. They kick it by Dean Kelly. Goes absolutely nowhere. They're still 40 metres out, the Eagles. Parker gets a handball across to Tompkins. Lockie Johns is in there too. I think Tompkins copped one on the shoulder. So he'll receive the free kick. One of the last lines of defence for the Magpies. So Vermont had the early surge here in this first term. We've only gone a minute, trailed by 20 points. The kick by Tompkins goes out towards the Hicks direction. The umpires paid a push in the back, so the free kick will go to Scoresby. They'll look to move the ball on towards the wing position. That was a beautiful kick too. Cosson came charging out. In fact, in taking a really strong mark for Vermont was Mendes.
He's done really well today, BWS. He's nullified Adam Parker, and he's got a lot of the ball himself. A real contender for the Narellan Pools Player of the Day.
So Mendes of the Daniel variety, goes short to Dean Kelly. Called upon by Marcus Hodges to get into this game. Let's see what he can do in this second half. Kicks inside forward 50. Dalton comes out and takes a strong mark. In fact, it was Carmody, who was relatively quiet there in the first half. He's a very important big man for them, and he'll have a shot from just outside 50.
So yeah, great mark there by Tommy. Passes it off.
Short pass was on, and it was a terrible one too. McCurby McConnon filling the hole nicely. Takes the mark in the back pocket. He's going to switch the play across to Jones now. They might start to use the broadcast side. McConnon's on short, as to his Tom Warby. The kick was half smothered. He's got to be up to it again. He put his body on the line, Jones, and he received the free kick in the back pocket.
They got to. I reckon they got to take a few risks this quarter, boys. They're down by 20 points, and this is the time to take a risk.
So in the back pocket now, Wale Buxton for Scoresby goes short. Kick wasn't too crash hot. Johns takes the mark for Vermont, about 70 metres out from goal. So important bit of play here. The shot goes up about 20 metres out. Henley, Carmody over the back of the pack, snap around the body. That was a good shot by Adrian Galeno. He's worked it back magnificently. That is a goal, and on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, it's the first one of the third term. 7-4-46 Vermont, 26 points ahead of Scoresby 2-8-20.
Yeah, thanks BWS. I reckon Scoresby need to do this quarter is keep the Hogle boys and give them all their forward 50. Get some space in there, because they're very dangerous and they only need 10 or 15 metres, and if the ball can get in there, they'll be able to kick a few goals.
That's just the start that Vermont were looking for this quarter, though. 26-point lead. It's a long way back here from the Magpies, Benny.
It certainly is, Peter Baird. It's Scalino's second on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, and Vermont now out to a 26-point lead, but Scoresby go forward, and almost a good mark taken by Hicks on the second grab, though. Try to get a little kick out, and it might work out okay here for Kirby McConnell. He's good below his feet, and it's a short little chipping ball to Chris Hogle, who takes the mark 40 metres out, almost directly in front, and he'll go back and try to put through Scoresby's third. Quickly down the boundary side, thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Yeah, boys, starting on the bench for Vermont this quarter, Edgecombe, Bird, Lung and Ellis.
Thanks very much to Dan Senchik wearing the cap backwards today. I think he's above the rest. That's how he rolls on EFL Game Day. Chris Hogle has won. This is for his second. Comes in now from 40 metres out. Looks very nice off the boot. Not much celebration, but an important goal for Scoresby. Hogle kicks his second, and Scoresby have 3. 3-8-26 the Pies. The Eagles 7-4-46. 20 points to margin. 4 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. All thanks to EFL Game Day through the Pie Shed. Braden Ingram, thanks to Akira Urgent Care.
Thanks, Ben. On the boundary, on the interchange for Scoresby, Legg, Gibbons, Cross, and as we said, Wilson. Copped a knock in the first term. He tried to come back on in the second, had a run, but he's iced up. And as we said, they're down to 3 now, so that could hurt them going into the final term.
Thank God for Kirby McConnell at the Scoresby Football Club. He's having a super game. Van Reenen knocked it down and came straight into the arms of Cross, who banged it inside forward 50, 2 in a row. It'd be handy. What a mark pulled down there by Chris Hogle on the left side. So he's going to have a shot for goal, and it could be 2 within a minute, 45 metres out from goal, Pete.
Just showing you why we've got Marcus Hodges here in special comments. They said only minutes ago Scoresby needed to try and isolate Chris Hogle there inside that forward 50-metre arc. He's going to have his second shot for goal within the space of a couple of minutes. He could be the key here, Marcus, in the second half for Scoresby.
Yeah, definitely. One-on-one is, he's stronger than you think, and he's a very good kick for goal, so I'll back him in from here.
He's already kicked 2. This is a very important one. 45 metres out from goal. He pokes at it in the end and pushes it to the right-hand side. Minus score going on the board to Scoresby, moving them along 2-3 goals, 9-27. Still trailing Vermont 7-4, 46. 5.5 minutes gone. Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
So Vermont will look to bring it out. Short chipping ball into the right back pocket. Mark taken by Xavier Barry Murphy. Listen to EFL Gameday 98.1 FM and streaming through efl.org.au. All thanks to the pie shed. Big fly from Ross. Got hands to the footy. Ball comes out though from Marcius. Jones gets a quick little chipping ball over the top. Standing strong and getting rewarded in the end was Nathan Henley. And for a high punch there. And Henley will look to bring it across the left half back. Finds his target in front of the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, which reads Vermont in front by 19 points. They bring it back towards the defensive goal square. Mark taken by Nathan Henley. Short chipping ball is ordinary. Very ordinary from Nathan Henley. And Jared Hicks takes the mark 30 metres out, 45-degree angle. This for Scoresby's second in a row, Frosty.
This kick is huge in the context of this game. Scoresby have already got the quick answer back after Vermont opened the quarter with a goal themselves. If they can kick this one here, it narrows the margin back to 13 points and the Magpies are back in the game.
Jared Hicks comes in, looks great off the boot. The Scoresby fans like that one. Jared Hicks gets his first, an important goal. And Scoresby going to 4-9-33. Vermont 7-4-46. Just over 6.5 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. All on EFL Gameday. Thanks to the pie shed. The pies aren't done with yet, gentlemen.
I think Scott White's reaction to that goal actually says a lot. He's actually very animated there. He's actually pumping up his players on his bench, trying to instill that belief they're not done with yet in this game. The margin's only 13 points. If Scoresby get the next one, we've got game on out here at Bayswater Oval.
And it started in the midfield with McConnon, Cross, Parker, Marcius. That's where it started from.
Ball back in the middle of the ground, only 13 points of margin. Ross got the knockdown and went straight towards the Mendy's direction, went wide looking for Wilson. Also out there is Johns, picked up by Kirby McConnon, tried to get it across to Jones. The umpire said it was a throw or something. I'm not too sure. High tackle. Henley's got it in the middle. It's been moved onto the ball late in this third quarter. Kick up towards the half-forward line now. That was a good pass too because he's found Davidson. He in turn wants to go short and he's got Galeno out across the half-forward line, being really lively. A great option for Vermont this afternoon. Millhouse, who's come down from the half-back line, has it about 60 metres out from goal. Sizing up the options. There's about 25 players inside that forward 50, so Millhouse now sold the dummy and did it beautifully too because he spotted up a teammate about 35 metres out from goal, and the mark's been taken by big Tom Carmody.
Just shows Millhouse's experience there. You know, didn't want to bomb it long, waited for the right option. Carmody, presents 15 metres away, and it just hits him up. And that's why they're one of the top sides.
Well, expect him to have a shot now. He passed it off from 55 earlier. This is from 50. It's an important kick. He leans over the ball and puts it straight over the goal umpire's head. First goal on the board to Tom Carmody, moving Vermont on to 8 goals for 52 was an important answer, Peter Baird. Scoresby 4-9-33.
It certainly is, Ben, because as the team starts to get a roll and a bit of belief going as well, if you can get that goal back straight away as Vermont did an answer, it just takes a bit of the wind out of your sails, and Scoresby really need to keep going here. They can't get deflated by Vermont always having the answer.
Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap Match Stats.
Inside 50's 4 apiece. Vermont, last 2 quarters, have taken 6 marks inside 50. From that, they've kicked 5 goals.
Just repeating those scores around the ground. Rowville by 45 points over Mooroolbark. North Ringwood by 22 over the Glen Waverely Hawks. And Sylvan by 18 over Furniture Gully at half-time. Here at Bayswater, it is Vermont by 19 in what should be a fantastic second half. Ball's out on that true centre wing position. Picked up by Kelly. Long sweeping hand pass back to Millhouse. He now goes inboard to David Leung. He goes further afield towards a one-on-one contest. Ball comes to ground. Davidson, he's a skinny young kid, but he's got some talent and some pace. He gets a hand pass back, ends up in the hands of Nathan Henley, in good hands, goes towards Jared Dalton, in position A, takes them up. Jared Dalton has been a star up at full forward all year, but particularly in finals time, and he will go back and look to kick his 4th goal for the day, and he's proving a headache for the Scoresby defence, Frosty.
Oh, he certainly is, and he's showing that ton of experience. Obviously, he's been a fantastic player at VFL level over the last couple of seasons, and really coming back into this Vermont side, they're looking for someone to stand up with the absence of Ryan Mullett. They've found their man today in Jared Dalton.
Marcus Hodges predicted that he would kick 6 goals today. He's got 3. He should make it 4, and he does. Jared Dalton kicks his 4th.
Boundary.
And Vermont go on to 9-4-58 to Scoresby, 4-9-33. 25 points to margin. Almost 10.5 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Let's cross down boundary side. Thanks to Akira Urgent Care, Braden.
Thanks, Ben. We're really seeing just how much these boys love each other. They all got to Nathan Henley there. He got a great shoe there and set up the goal for Vermont. So they're really getting around each other, and you can see how much they want this win.
10.5 minutes gone, third term, 9-4, plays 4-9. The umpire throws it up now, double-fisted by Van Reen, and Kelly got a handle on it too, came out to Davidson. He couldn't quite trap it, legs in there also. Parker got a handball out, no one's going anywhere. Wilson will hand it back to the umpire and we'll have a bounce. Right in the middle of Bayswater Oval, great crowd out here today. Week 1 of the Choose Tap final series. Who will play Norwood next week for a spot in the grand final? Ross got the knockdown. It's still in that middle. Little fend off there by Kelly. They're edging the ball forward. Comes out towards Bird. Scoresby might have the numbers out wide here. They've just flicked one out. McConnon, little short kick up towards Kirby. McConnon now. He managed to take it. Handball inside. That was good. They're going backwards to go forwards. Cross. Squeezes a kick to centre half forward. It was a good spot to go to too. Over the back of the pack, Johnson. That was okay. This time it was... Johnson ended up clearing it in the end. Peter Baird calling for a free kick. Jared Major out there, gang tackled there by Tom Carmody. He's going nowhere. The umpire will not reward anybody. He'll instead restart it about 75 metres out from the Scoresby goal.
Reckon he was pretty stiff then, Chris Hogle, taken down without the ball, well off the contest as well, unlucky not to get a free kick.
The umpire threw it up. He's plucked one out to Van Reen and out of the ruck contest, so Robbie Ross just holding on a little bit there.
Pretty even all day, both ruckmen. No one's tended to get on top, I reckon.
It was an important contest. Van Reen's kick was an absolute shocker. Found Bird in the middle of the ground, had the handball to Kelly, and now the Eagles are going to surge forward. What a gameplay breaker this is. Kick up towards Galeno, and he takes a mark another time inside that forward 50. Over the top to Dalton. He's the man of the moment, and he takes it in the right forward pocket this time. He hasn't had a shot from this position, but the way he's going, he probably put this straight through, Pete.
Oh, they're working so well together, Galeno and Dalton down there. Galeno is that small lead up forward, Dalton dropping back and using his height and his strength in the marking contest. It's just a really great setup that KB's got working at the moment for Vermont.
And there's just so much space in the forward line for him.
He's already kicked 3 this afternoon. He's already kicked 4. He comes in now from just inside the 50, leans over the ball. He's pushed it to the left-hand side. It might actually end up staying in. Eventually fisted over for a rush behind, moving the Vermont Football Club onto 9-5-59. It's 26-point margin out here at Bayswater Oval. Scoresby 4-9-33, 13-minute mark.
That's on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard and around the grounds. Rowville 45 points in front of Mooroolbark. North Ringwood 22 points in front of the Glen Waverely Hawks. Sylvan 18 points in front of Ferntree Gully. And here in our radio game, it's 26 points. The lead of Vermont over Scoresby here on EFL Gameday, thanks to the pie shed. Long kick towards the middle of the ground. Van Reen claimed the mark, wasn't paid. Cross tries to work himself out of some trouble there, and he did all right. McConnon put his head over the foot. In fact, it was Ian Gibbons, but a long kick inside 50 now for Vermont. Dalton's behind, but a nice mark in defence taken there by Mark Williams, who's been rock solid all season, and he looks to effect a switch. He goes out wide to Brenton Leck, takes the mark right half back flank, kicks further afield to David Mars. He's been a little quiet, but starting to get himself back into the game. True centre wing position on the outer side in front of the Bayswater Oval gates. Up towards half forward, Costin in position over, coming in Frost's Ravens. Quickly takes the mark, inside 50, and Jones takes the mark 45 metres out. Plays on quickly, kick was smothered. He had the blinkers on that time, and Shane Davidson, in effect of the smother, gets the ball, and they're away through the middle of the ground. David Leong links up with Millhouse, over the top to Dalton. Not a lot of numbers forward. 2-on-1 situation. Scoresby might have the numbers, but he gets a poor bounce. Now here, Carmody at right half forward flank. Handball is good to Galeno. On the wrong side for a left footer, was taken without the ball. Umpire said play on, and Scoresby will look to bring it off half back through Thomas Warby.
Warby goes into the middle of ground. It was a dangerous kick, chopped off by Bird. He's got players out wide, swinging around on the left boot. Ryan Wilson might kick it from 50. He scrambled it in the end. The pressure came late, and the ball's marked at the last line of defence. So Vermont give a good side a chance. They'll make you pay. Kick goes out towards the Tompkins direction. Carmody got a handle on it over the boundary line and out of bounds.
I've been really impressed with Shane Davidson from Vermont. He's just done a lot of smothers and 1%ers all day, so he's been good.
1%ers win finals. So the umpire throws it in. Van Ruin got it down towards the direction of Jaden Hogle, paddled eventually over the boundary line by Mark Williams, and we'll have a boundary throw in. It's edged closer though to the Vermont goals.
We saw a lot of stoppages in the first half, Marcus, but in the last 10-15 minutes this game's really opened up this quarter.
Yeah, you always knew Scoresby were going to come out and fight, but Vermont, to their credit, have answered.
A hot footy's been picked up by Dalton out of nowhere, and he slams it on his boot. That's his fifth of the afternoon, and now the Vermont Football Club, they seem to be running away with this game in Choose Tap Finals Day, 10-5-65. It's a 32-point margin now at the 15.5-minute mark. Scoresby 4-9-33 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Look at the smile on Marcus Hotties' face.
I reckon he might be ruining himself though, because he might have sold Jared Dalton short. He said he'd kick 6 today. He's got 5, and we're only halfway through the third quarter.
Yeah, I am a little bit worried. After 6, I might get him to come off. So,
so Jared Dalton has kicked 5, and he's taken the mark of the day by quite a long way as well. And the ball's back in the middle with Vermont leading this one quite comfortably, but Chadwick has other ideas, gets a hand pass off the cross, kick inside 50 towards Cosson. Ball comes out though, and umpires pulled out a free kick for a high tackle, and it will go the way of Gibbons or McConnon. Gibbons. So Gibbons with that very strange hairstyle. He's got the one on the side, but he's got the Justin Bieber fringe on the middle. So
you're calling your hairstyle normal?
No. And make sure you get down to Vicky Vozzo's place. Of course, wife of Michael Vozzo does a nice job down there at the Stud Road shops. So Gibbons for a much-needed goal for Scoresby comes in, looks all right off the boot. Has it got the legs? It did, but it hit the woodwork, the left woodwork to be exact. And Scoresby go on to 4-11-35 to Vermont 10-5-65. Just under 17 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard on EFL Gameday.
Bermuda went to Millhouse, back to Bermuda, kicked it out towards Ryan Wilson, got a handle on it. Warby's on his hammer. Brenton Legg comes in to lend some support, got a handball across to Cross, and now the Magpies surge forward once again. Cross from 55 metres out. He got too much purchase on the kick, pushed it to the right-hand side, out of bounds on the full.
He's another player. Scoresby really need to try and get a lift out of today. Thomas Warby. He was fantastic when the Magpies defeated Vermont about a month ago, but really hasn't been able to have that same run and influence this afternoon.
So McCarthy for the Eagles. He's got Millhouse in the goal square, so he switched it to him. Sold the dummy, might use McCarthy again. Millhouse elects to go on the boot, kick up towards the Henley direction. Jones came in well, down at the fall of the ball, picked up nicely there by Kirby McConnon. Handball across to David Marcius as a player all in the goal square by himself if you can meet him. Well done there by Dave Leung, just to come in at the right time and lend some support. And now it'll be the Eagles through McCarthy to switch the play. Almost across to centre half back. Mendes, the Daniel variety, goes out wide. That was a good kick too, because Lachlan John just come down and taken a good mark. He's got Emily running if he wants to use him. Goes in that direction now, and he pulled down an absolute cracker of a mark. Handball over the top now to the run of Tim Johnson. He kicks it inside forward 50. Was a little bit of a shank. At the fall of the ball, is Dalton going to be good enough? Carmody's in there too. The ball's about 45 metres out from goal. The kick to the goal square now. Edgecombe's in position, over the back of the pack. The ball's at the top of the goal square. Well done by Big Tom Warby. He gets it out of that danger zone. Surges a kick out towards Jaden Hogle. He was quickly met by Nathan Henley. The umpire said play on. Now the Eagles will have another chance across the half forward line. Henley's got it 50 metres out from goal. He wanted to go short. The kick was half smothered, so he might get another go now. Kicks it to 30 metres out from goal. It might even go downfield here. No. In fact, the free kick was given just before he got the kick on, so it will come back to about 60 metres out from goal. And Nathan Henley, will they get a little bit of a let off there, Peter Bear? Because if that was downfield, they were having a shot on goal.
Yeah, bit of sloppy work there, a bit of frustration creeping into the Scoresby game here. They've given away a few free kicks in situations that could really hurt him here. Lucky not to be down the ground.
Expect him to go to the hot spot, and that's the direction he goes now. Nathan Henley kicks it to the top of the goal square. Taylor was down there too. Dean Kelly, Kirby McConnon got a handball away to his brother. Parker wants to see it over the boundary line, and he's gang tackled over it too. He nearly could have got a free kick for that. 40 metres out from goal.
Just an update around the ground. Ash Froud has kicked 3. Cats lead by 20 points over Ferntree Gully, and Rowville by 45 over Mooroolbark. Mark Hardy, the Silver Fox, having a day out apparently.
Peter Baird winning the task against Daniel Sensig in the tips this afternoon. As the umpire throws it in, and there's a free kick. It'll go the way of Scoresby, and they'll be able to clear this one. Van Reenen, he's won a few free kicks out of the the knockouts today. Gets it across to leg. The driving kick out towards the Goldsack direction. He's been relatively quiet today. Ryan Wilson's right on his hammer, but Goldsack was good enough to pick the ball back up, and then he was crunched in a tackle. Tim Johnson, he wasn't rewarded. The umpire will come in and bounce it. Far side of the ground out at Bayswater Oval. We've got a 31-point margin in the favour of Vermont.
You certainly do on EFL Game Day, on whether you're listening on 98.1 FM or EFL.org.au. It's all thanks to the Pie Shed. See Mark and the team down there at the Bayswater or Scoresby stores. They have 40 varieties of pies, Frosty. And we found out all about that today with Mark bringing up some pies just before game day, and it was absolutely sensational. Ball up on that outer side. Marcy's took it out of the ruck. Lucky not to have a free kick awarded against him there for taking it out of the ruck. Umpires pulled out a free kick, and it will go the way of Vermont. Davidson, skinny young kid, but geez, he's playing well. McCarthy gets a hand pass inboard to Johnson.
Great tackle.
Geez, that's a wonderful tackle by Scoresby. They might try and force the turnover here, but Vermont do well to hold the ball up in the middle of Bayswater Oval. And we'll see a ball up. Vermont 10-5-65, leading Scoresby 4-10-34. Around the ground, Sylvan by 20 over Ferntree Gully, and Rowville by 45 over Mooroolbark, and North Ringwood by 22 over the Glen Waverly Hawks. Ball up back in the middle. No one able to quite take clean possession for either side. Cross, try to go in and extract the ball, but he couldn't.
Both
the ball up.
Both teams has really shown the last 5 minutes.
Lots of smothers, isn't there? Yeah, lots of tackling as Kelly gets the clearance here. Dribbles it towards left half forward flank. Ross did well, the big man below his feet, and gave out a hand pass to Daniel Mendes. Long left foot kick towards Henley. Great mark by Nathan Henley. Used his body well, and he's on the right side for a right footer, tucked up against the boundary line, but he'll go back and look to put this one through from about 25 metres out. He's been very good today, Nathan Henley.
Can't be more glowing for my praise for young Daniel Mendes today. The fact that Chris Barlow's showing a lot of confidence in the young kid. He's gone to the best Scoresby midfielder in each contest. So at the start of the game was Adam Parker. Now he's gone to try and pick up and nullify Sean Cross, and he's just had a mountain of ball himself.
Henley's been everywhere today, and he's just off to the near side on this occasion. A minus score for the Eagles. 10-6-66 are the Eagles. Scoresby 4-10-34. 22 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. This is EFL Game Day, all thanks to the Pie Shed.
With Mullet withdrawing today, guys like Mendes and Henley had to step up, and they have. And, you know, like even the other younger guys have stepped up, so it's credit to them.
Warby has the kick in, plays it to himself. Got McConnon running alongside him, uses him now. There was an absolute shocker of a kick, found the arms of Cross though, so the Magpies will get out of this. Kirby McConnon scrambled a handball along. Across the half-forward line now, the ball moves up to for the Scoresby Football Club. Can they take a mark coming in that time and trying to pick it up with Shane Davidson? Got down low. The Eagles are going to surge away here. Dean Kelly's got it in the middle. He just needs to trap it. Well done by Bronskis to lay the bit of pressure and the half smother of the handball. Ball still in the middle. Davidson gets a handball out wide. They're using this okay now, Vermont, as the kick goes up towards the half-forward line. The ball's just got to sit up for Mendes, who Pete just spoke about. The kick inside forward, 50 out of nowhere. He's just run onto the ground, and he's got a bit of extra spring in his step, and he used his opponent in Galeno as a step ladder. Shocking kick, though, to the top of the goal square. Now they're under pressure. Leg, he's in there. Galeno, Dalton on hands and knees. The umpire said that was a little bit crude by Dalton. Gives away a free kick, so it'll be a Brenton leg for Scoresby. Also received a 25-metre penalty for a little bit of backjack.
I'll tell you what, we've seen some of the best aerial work you've ever seen today. That mark by Jared Dalton and that one by Jared Major.
The ball, speak of the devil, comes out towards Jared Major now, paddles it along. He wanted the boundary line. Grant McCarthy was right there. Boundary throw in, far side of the ground out at Bayswater Oval. It's a 32-point margin. Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap Match Stats.
Kicks this quarter 49-36 in favour of Vermont. Inside 50s, 13-9 their way.
Hicks versus Ross. Ross got it down. Marcius was in there. Alice too. The umpire let the play go. Just trying to scramble a handball out. Came out now to Chadwick from Scoresby. He touches the ball on the ground. It was the safer option. Now he's going to kick it to the hot spot, and it was a beautiful looking kick too. Charging out in front there was Hogle. He just didn't meet it hard enough, and he gave Tim Johnson one for his troubles, and now to be Johnson through the Eagles to clear it out, and they're moving it out of the back pocket.
Millhouse is the man who has the ball, right half back flank, and he'll look to switch it back towards the defensive goal square. The mark's been taken. The Eagles currently lead this one by 32 points. Ball comes back to Dean Millhouse in the right back pocket. Spearing ball towards Truson half back. Mark taken there by Mitch Benuta. He goes towards left half back and using his body nicely and taking a good mark there for the Eagles. They've got the ball now on the outer side. So long kick by Wilson up towards true centre wing position over the head of Robbie Ross, and ball comes to the back, and Brenton Legg picks the ball up. And he goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. Just around this ground, Sylvan by 20 points over Ferntree Gully. North Ringwood by 22 over the Glen Waverly Hawks. And Rowville, Peter Baird, by 45 points over Mooroolbark, doing a fine job. Brad Henderson out there covering that one for us. As the ball comes back to Adam Parker, goes towards the Foss in Chadwick. Chadwick's got the speed here, picks it up very nicely. Couldn't quite strike the tackle. Oh, Chris Hogle, coup de fete style, picked it up with one hand, but it was over the boundary line and out of bounds on the full, and we'll see a free kick going the way of the Eagles, Marcus.
Yeah, just one thing I've noticed throughout the whole game is Vermont's use of the footy is a lot better than Scoresby's, even just then, and kicking it on the full. I think that's been really important today, and Scoresby haven't used it very well.
Sylvan have extended their lead to 28 points out at Tormore Reserve. Here at Bayswater, it's Cooper McConnell looking for Chadwick. He takes the mark, right off forward flank. Oh, feigns at the Foss. The Foss gets around, and a beautiful kick inboard to Chris Hogle. And Chris Hogle takes the mark about 30 metres out, almost directly in front. And he can go back and kick his third for the day and Scoresby's fifth, Peter Baird.
Yeah, it's an important shot at goal here, but I don't think Paul Chadwick could much appreciate you calling him a Foss, thing, so he is only 24 years of age.
He's got the look of a Foss, he's got the ball nugget, but he's not playing like one at the moment because he's been close to Scoresby's best today. As Chris Hogle comes in, he's kicked 50 for the year, and he makes that still on 50. He's kicked 2 goals today, Chris Hogle, and Scoresby kicked their 11th behind for the day. 4:11:35 to Vermont 10:6:66 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 26.5 minutes ago.
Bermuda took the kick in, kicked it out towards the Ross direction. They've crossed the half back line now. Ellis is in there. Scoresby. Barry Murphy got the handball out. That was okay. Wilson. Now the Eagles might be able to charge through the middle. The umpire's paid a free kick. It'll go the way of Vermont just as Kirby McConnell was running on with it. So they'll try and slow things down a little bit here. Wilson got it across to Kelly. He goes out wider to Henley on the left boot, kicks it up towards the half-forward line. The back of the pack, Marcy has dropped what he probably should have taken. In fact, it was Mark Williams. Siren goes out here at Bayswater Oval. Choose Tap qualifying final day in Division 1, and it's the Vermont Football Club at three-quarter time, leading it by 31 points, 10-6-66. Scoresby 4-11-35. Can the Magpies come back? Only time will tell. There's only 1 quarter remaining, but Ben Waterworth will be back after this short break with all the around-the-ground scores from all the other Choose Tap finals games this afternoon, right here on EFL Gameday.
Hi, this is Graham Lake. If you like relaxing music over lunch, then every Tuesday, tune in to the Tuesday Lunch Spot between 11 and 1. I will be your host with Joan Basford taking the chair every 4th week. We look forward to your company. It's every Tuesday between 11 and 1.
Radio Eastern 98.1 at 3 to 4. This is Barry Kites back here in the studio, and we'll be returning to the exciting last quarter of Vermont and Scoresby game in just a moment. Now, do you have sudden fever, aching body, sore throats, chills, nausea, headache, dizziness? It sounds like you need medical assistance urgently. Now, it's difficult getting an immediate appointment with your GP when you need care fast. So come to Acure Urgent Care, where you don't need an appointment and you won't have to wait. They are Australia's first walk-in medical and emergency clinic. Walk in at 157 Scoresby Road, Verona.
Paul, you're good to go. Do you want to do a quick three-quarter time thing?
That's 983.
Yeah, we have quick, 30 seconds. Be with your team.
Your health, your destiny.
Yep. If you love your EFL footy like I do and you love getting down to see your team play, you don't want to be spending your weekend stuck in the car driving. That's why I opened a Breeze account. Eastlink is the quickest, easiest way to get around Melbourne's east, and Tags are the cheapest way to use Eastlink. So open your Breeze account online at eastlink.com.au today and use Eastlink in the cheapest possible way with a Tag account. Instead of being stuck behind the wheel, I can have more time getting stuck into the umpire. Ball! Eastlink, it's time better spent, like at the footy.
Program sponsor. In desperate need of some windows but your budget's too tight? Never fear, because the team at T&B Window Warehouse has the right solution for you. We have surplus windows to suit the needs of any budget. We're located at 120 to 124 Bayfield Road East, Bayswater North. Give us a call, 8727 7506. That's 8727 7506. T&B Window Warehouse. Don't forget the name, part of the EA EAL and AW Transport Group, #1 in window transport. Program sponsor.
EFL Gameday on Radio Eastern 98.1. Now it's time to check AFL scores and at the sports desk. Here is Damien Watson.
Thanks very much, Barry. Just quickly, 2 games currently taking place in the AFL this afternoon. Firstly, Geelong have romped away from Sydney down at Simmons Stadium with a 38-point lead, 14-8-92 to 7-12-54, approaching the 9-minute mark of the final term, and Geelong have ensured that they will finish no lower than 6th at this stage on the table. Paul Chapman and Tom Hawkins have each registered 3 goals apiece. Meanwhile, for Sydney, Jared McVeigh is the only multiple goal scorer with 2, and he's also the leading possession getter on the ground with 25 disposals. And quickly at the other game at Amy Stadium, the Crows have robbed away to a 51-point lead over the Gold Coast Suns, 12-15-87 at Adelaide to the Gold Coast 5-6-36 at the 15-minute mark of the third term. Graham Johncock has booted 3 goals for the Crows. Meanwhile, Patrick Dangerfield is the leading possession getter on the ground with 29 disposals.
EFL Saturday Game Day continues. Let's head back and go local for your footy.
And it's 3-quarter time here at Bayswater Oval. Vermont 10-6-66, leading Scoresby 4-11-35, 5 goals to 2 in that third term in favour of the Eagles. Out at East Berwick, though, it's North Ringwood and the Glen Waverely Hawks, and we've got our man on the scene, Paul Semertzidis, is out there. North Ringwood and the Glen Waverely Hawks. Good afternoon to you, Seymour. What's the score out there? Mate. What's the score out there at the moment?
About 29 minutes into the third quarter here, North Ringwood have a 27-point lead. 13-10-88 to 9-7-61, but they did lead by as much as 41 points about halfway through this third quarter.
Oh, really? Because at half-time we did have North Ringwood up by 22 points, but the Saints must have kicked ahead early in that third term.
Yeah, they did. Actually, the first goal of the quarter went the way of Glen Waverley through Danny Gray. It's just actually a right-home kick for goal here by Wayne McGee.
Yes.
It won't score, so the score will remain the same. But yeah, North Ringwood kicked 3 goals on the trot in about a 5-10 minute period, and that's been pretty indicative of the way this game's gone. 10-15 minute dominating periods in each quarter to the Saints. And there's a 3-quarter time siren just goes, and it's a 26-point margin to North Ringwood.
Beautiful. So just that final score again before we let you go.
3-quarter time, North Ringwood 13-10-88, the Glen Waverley Hawks 9-8-62.
Good on you, Seymour. We'll look forward to hearing some of your sharpest work a little bit after 5 o'clock today.
Thanks very much, Ben.
There you are, Paul Semertzidis out there. North Ringwood and the Glen Waverley Hawks. Just repeating that score, North Ringwood would still hold a pretty comfortable lead, 13-10-88 to 9-8-62. So 26 points the margin in favour of the Saints. In other games around the league at the moment, Rowville and Mooroolbark. Rowville were up by around 40 points. We'll just wait for that one to officially come back. And Sylvan were up by 28 points just before the... Here we go. We've got the official score now from Rowville and Mooroolbark. Rowville 11-11-77, leading Mooroolbark 4-2-26. So that's 51 points is the margin. So the Hawks riding away with that one at the moment. We'll cross down boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care very, very shortly. With, of course, here in this game, Vermont leading by 31 points. And just got one here. It's Sylvan and Ferntree Gully. Cam Canada, Sylvan's secretary, doing a very, very nice job. And Sylvan 11-15-81, leading Ferntree Gully 8-6-54. So the Cats lead by 27 points at 3-quarter time. Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap.
Turn yourself on, mate.
Oh, I didn't turn it off, so I didn't realise someone else did. Anyway, the main stats in that third quarter, Vermont won the kicks 58-42. They got a lot more uncontested possessions, 49-30. And the tackles, they won that 13-6. A worrying trend for Scoresby. Their effective tackles, they started off with 17 in the first quarter, 11 in the second quarter, only 6 in that quarter. They really need to improve their tackling in the last quarter if they're going to be any chance to win this game.
They certainly do, Super. Let's cross down boundary side. Thanks to Akira Urgent Care. Braden's down there on the spot.
Thank you, BWS. Out at the Scoresby huddle, they're all ready to go, but the Vermont huddle's still breaking up. A very positive Scott White. Pretty fired up as well. His main message was, we can still win this. They've only had one less scoring shot than the Vermont side. But really, he said, we can come back. We've done this earlier in the year. We have the ability. He just wants numbers to the footy, and he wants the boys to take calculated risks. And the fact that he says they've got the belief they can win this, they just need to take risks in this final term.
Well, the Scoresby side might be a little bit confident, but the Eagles side, it would have to be a hell of a lot more confident. Daniel Sensick, what did KB have to say at the huddle?
Thank you very much, boys. KB was really upbeat at the huddle, but he was adamant that the job's not done yet and the boys just have to start all over again this quarter. Stick to doing the basics like they've been doing all game. The stats put up on the board that they were up 13 inside 50s to 11 that quarter and 14 tackles to 5 that quarter, so they were really getting on top in that area, and one of the key reasons that the scoreboard says that they're so far in front, 31 points in front. But new game this quarter for Vermont. They need to keep doing the basics.
Who will go? Thank you very much to Daniel Sensic. Who will go through and play Norwood for a chance in the Division 1 Grand Final next weekend? Scoresby, they trail by 31 points. Ben Waterworth's going to take us away with the final quarter of Choose Tap Finals Day.
Just around the grounds, Vermont here, of course, by 31 points over Scoresby. Rowville by 51 over Mooroolbark. North Ringwood, as we heard from Paul just then, 26 points in front of Glen Waverely Hawks. And Sylvan by 27 over the Ferntree Gully Eagles. We're underway in the final term here at Bayswater Oval, and trying to force his way through there was Marcy's, but he was heavily set upon there by Lachlan Johns. And we will see a ball up in the middle of Bayswater Oval. Predictions, Frosty, Vermont should hold on. Marcus, they should hold on here, should they?
I can't see Vermont going down, leading by 5 goals in three-quarter time. It's a long way back from Scoresby.
Yeah, I expect Scoresby to fight back here, get a couple of goals, and but I still think Vermont will win.
You love an underdog, don't you?
I do love an underdog, Frosty.
Well, they're not going to fight back from this piece of play because Lachlan Johns has earned a free kick in the middle of Bayswater Oval, and his kick was pretty ordinary off the boot, but it might work out okay as they go back to Dean Millhouse. His kick further afield, not well positioned here for Ryan Wilson, but he swings on the left foot towards the hot spot in position A. Kelly, I should say, but it was spilled from him. Tompkins got a hand pass off to Major. Now Wade McConnell brings it off half-back towards Chadwick, but 3-on-1, and Vermont easily thump it over the boundary line and out of bounds, right in front of a very angry and nervous-looking Scott White. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, Vermont 10-6-66, leading Scoresby 4-11-35 on EFL Gameday, whether you're listening to 98.1 FM or watching us through efl.org.au. This is all thanks to the Pie Shed. Mark and the team at the Bayswater or Scoresby stores for 40 varieties of pies. The pies are absolutely delicious at the Pie Shed. Make sure you go and see Mark and the team. Ball up here as Cross, beautiful hands off to Parker. Can he get himself in the game? Kick up towards half forward over the head of Kirby McConnell, but he might get himself onto this one. Bounce suitably for him. His short Jimmy ball over the top was very nice, and Chris Hogle takes the mark 45 metres out, almost directly in front, but he needs to kick this goal for Scoresby to have any chance of winning this game, Frosty.
Yeah, that's probably the first time we've really seen clean ball movement from Scoresby coming away from a stoppage, and it was due to guys like Adam Parker and Kirby McConnell, now Chris Hogle, the ball in his hands. That's what Scoresby need to look to do if they're going to have any chance in this game.
Must kick goal for Chris Hogle. Kicks on its way. It's a beautiful kick off the boot, and it carries all the way. So Scoresby not quite done with yet. Hogle has 3, Scoresby have 5. Scoresby 5-11-41 to Vermont 10-6-66. 2.5 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. This is EFL Game Day. Thanks to the Pie Shed and thanks to Akira Urgent Care. Let's cross down to Braden Ingram.
Thanks, Ben. Just in this final term, the wind's picked up. Hasn't really been a factor all day, but just pushing across from our broadcast side to the other side of the ground, maybe slightly favouring Scoresby in the final term.
Well, they got the start that they needed, the Scoresby Football Club. Narrow the margin now to 25 points, almost 3 minutes gone in this final term. Pye has it in the middle. Throws it aloft now. The knockdown by Taylor. Vermont's going to get the clearance here. The kick goes up towards the half-forward line. It creates a foot race. Major's there, but too quick for him is Tom Carmody. Swings around on the right boot, kicks it towards the Kelly and Dalton direction. And he stands tall and brings down a great mark.
Simon Taylor.
And he's scooted down from that ruck contest and taken it for about 35 metres out from goal. And he's by far the biggest man. He was always going to pull that down.
Don't scare me like that, BWS, ain't Dalton?
So Simon Taylor, he'll have a shot and a really quick answer this could be for the Vermont Football Club. Just when it seemed like Scoresby may have found a smidgen of mojo, it could be quickly shut out here with a quick reply. Simon Taylor hasn't kicked a goal this afternoon. This is a really good opportunity for him. 40 metres out from goal, directly in front. The crowd will tell the story, and it's a beautiful kick right off the boot, straight over the goal umpire's head, and Vermont on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. They get the quick answer, 11 goals, 6-72. It's back out to that 31-point margin. Scoresby 5-11-41.
And it's been the story of the day. Every time Scoresby have looked like coming, Vermont have had the answer. And I've really liked the game today of Simon Taylor and Robbie Ross as well, because whenever each of them aren't actually contesting in a ruck contest, they will drift forward and get dangerous and present that extra tall option. Lukey Van Reenen hasn't been able to go with him, and while he's off the ground like we see at the moment with Jared Hicks there, they're just too big and they're presenting too many headaches down that forward line for Scott White.
Ball back in the middle. It'll be Ross. In fact, it'll be Taylor going up against Hicks, and the ball comes forward. Jaden Hogle gets a good bounce. He tries to pick the ball up now, and he got a hand pass off to Marcius. High kick towards the full forward area. Van Reenen's down there, created the contest. Cosson also there. Chris Hogle, beautifully done though by Bermuda. Tucked the ball under the arm, went for touch, and he might find it as well, but they've got numbers on the outer side here, Scoresby. Jones in board to Warby's, a thumping kick. Tries to go back to Jones, and he does as well. Jones kicks towards Truson half forward. Gibbons brought the ball to ground. Hicks picks it up now. He's 55 metres out. Long kick towards the top of the goal square. Van Reenen almost got to get the mark down. Ball comes to ground. Vermont have the numbers. Millhouse sees it over the boundary line and out of bounds. Left forward pocket for Scoresby. On the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, the Pies 5-11-41, trailing Vermont 11-6-72. 5 minutes gone, Frosty.
Yeah, I like that move from Scott White, moving Luke Van Reenen forward. We've been calling for it for years for him to rest in the forward pocket. Last roll of the dice here for the Magpies, and he's pulled the trigger.
He certainly has. Marcius tries to extract it, got a little hand pass off, looking for Chris Hogle, couldn't quite find him. Hicks laid the hip and shoulder too high, and the umpires pulled out a free kick, and it will go the way of Daniel Mendes, and he'll look to bring it away off half-back. His short chipping ball over the top was good to Johnson, and he's got a free player on the outer side. It's Henley. He takes a mark, Truce in a wing position. He'll look to move it on quickly, up towards half-forward, over the head of Dalton, and Mark Williams is able to take the ball for Scoresby, and they'll bring it away off half-back.
So he wants to square things up, does so now. That was a good pass too. Lucas Gibbons takes it across centre half back. They've got players out wide in Tompkins if he can spot him up now, but the kick's got to go over to Carmody's head, and it had to be good, and it was. So Tompkins takes it. Half back line now for Scoresby. They need to keep the ball moving fast. Takes off now, wants to serve a dummy, had to give the quick handball across to Major. He had time, he ran away with it too, might have to have a bounce before he gets pinged, kicks it up towards the 50-metre zone. Nobody's home though.
Kick.
And a mark has been chopped off by Dean Millhouse. Had a super game today. He goes short to Barry Murphy. The hyphen's away now, and he kicks it up to the wing position. Absolutely no man's land. It was going straight down the breadbasket of leg. But in the end, cutting across was Bird, and got a timely fist on it too, and out of bounds it goes right in front of us here on broadcast side.
Vermont's defence all day, they've allowed Millhouse to be spare, and he's just been the general all day.
Hicks got the front spot, knocked it down, picked up by Johns on the left boot, inside forward 50. It was a good kick too, and at the fall of the ball, Galeno takes the mark. So he wants to keep this one moving. He squares it up to the Kelly direction over the back of his head. He might have time to be able to pick this up. On hands and knees, Tompkins. They've still got the numbers there. Nick Mendes that time got the handball away. Going in hard was David Leung, and he's going to cop a free kick here. He ducked the head just at the right time, and he's going to receive it 45 metres out from goal, directly in front.
Just more desperation and going in and actually attacking the ball then from David Leung, and that's what's earning the free kick. If you put your head over the ball and you go hard at it, if you get contact a long way, you're going to earn a free kick, and that's exactly what David Leung did.
So he'll come in from 45 metres out from goal. He hasn't kicked a goal today. They've already got a couple of nails in the coffin. This might be one of the important ones. Straight over the goal umpire's head, and Vermont are running away with this one, and expect them to go on to play Norwood next week in the Choose Tap final series, because on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard they lead by 37 points at the 8-minute mark. 12-6, 78 leads 5-1-41.
Fat lady singing at Bayswater Oval here, BWS. It's all over. I cannot see Scoresby getting back from this now.
Marcus?
Yeah, as much as I love an underdog, Frosty, I'd have to agree with you. Just their work rate and their run, and just they're willing to help each other out. You know, it's been
so
great
much cleaner with their ball use all day.
Yeah.
Certainly have. Just around the grounds, North Ringwood are currently leading by 26 points, Sylvan by 27 over Ferntree Gully, and Rowville by 51 over Mooroolbark. As
Great
the ball's
mark to
gone
Dean
forward,
Kelly.
and Dean Kelly's taken a mark, Truce in a half-forward position, 45 metres out, directly in front, and this for Vermont's 13th goal, and this to make the margin 43 points.
Oh, he just got done for going. Oh, Hicks went straight over the man on the mark.
So Kelly from 50 metres out sends it on its way. It's a thumping kick, not going to quite make the distance, and thump through for a minor score. So Vermont go on to 12-7-79 to Vermont 5-11-41. Just over 8.5 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. This is EFL Game Day, brought to you by the Pie Shed. See Mark and the team at Bayswater or Scoresby.
Warby went short to Major. They've used the 1-2 a lot this afternoon. Major went back to Warby on the left boot. It was a beautiful pass too. Found McConnon out wide. Wants to move it into the middle of the ground. Parker was there, but so too was Cross. They went for the ladder. Kick up towards the half-forward line. There was nobody there. Cutting across, Grant McCarthy takes a good mark for the Eagles, and now he's got players short. Goes to Millhouse. Players in the middle of the ground. Mitch Bermuda. Expect him to wind around on that big left foot kick of his. Generally very precise.
Just saying, Grant McCarthy's been solid all day today.
Kyle Emley will take the mark across the half-back line. It's a little shove from Hogle. Chip kick over the top. That's good, Johns. He's been a really good player today, Lachlan Johns for Vermont. Got a great turn of speed. Kicks it into the middle of the ground. Leung. True centre wing position. Kicks it up towards the Dean Kelly direction. He had front spot over the back of the pack. Henley came, but the free kick's been given away, and it'll go the way of Paddy Tompkins. He has it across the half-back line. Might give the handball away to Leg here. He was waiting for it. Said he might even go short. It's a long way to go. They need to take off. They need to go direct and through the middle of the ground. Kirby McConnon takes it at centre half back and then goes in the middle. Henley, though, chops it off for the Eagles, and he might be off here. Umpire eventually called him a play on. Went to Millhouse. Squeezed a kick out wide. So that's okay. Barry Murphy. Just liking the short options here, Vermont. Goes back to Millhouse. They're working it across that far side of the ground. He can then go create the switch to McCarthy in the middle. He takes off now, gives a handball over the top. That was a good bit of play, Ross. Inside forward 50, goes towards the Galeno direction. The kick went over his head and over the boundary line and out of bounds. 30 metres out from goal, Frosty.
Yeah, I'd just be interested to get a stat there from Grant Campbell. The number of times Vermont have intercepted kicks from their opposition, because it just looks like time and time again, and Scoresby have taken the ball forward. Vermont have just been there to chop it off.
3 this quarter and 14 for the match.
The umpire throws it in. It's right in that hot spot. Major sees it over and out. Another boundary throw in.
And that's been the difference, I reckon. You know, the ball used the last 2 times. Scoresby have gone forward, been intercepted.
The umpire throws it in. Bird worked his way to the front, got it down to Kelly, tried to squeeze a kick out somehow. Henley's in there. He might be able to give a handball away. Snap around the body. What a great kick by Mendes. Super play, Daniel Mendes. He gets the reward for effort this afternoon. He's been a great player for 4 quarters, Peter Baird. And that was a good bit of play from the stoppage. Banged it on his boot, on the left foot too. So a great bit of play for Vermont there, and they just keep scooting away.
Oh, they're home here. They're looking ahead now to play Norwood next week. I don't know who's deciding who's winning that Trojan workhorse toolbox this afternoon, but if it's not Daniel Mendes, I'll go he right now.
Well, you can go he then, Frosty. No, Mendes is certainly up there.
We're a democracy, Peter.
So Vermont 13-7-85 to Scoresby 5-11-41 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Daniel Mendes been awesome all day, and he's able to put his first one through. Ball back in the middle. Hicks able to extract it from the clearance up towards Truson half forward. Nicely met there by Goldsack. Controlled the ball well. Swings onto the right foot now. From 55 out. Goes long towards the other side here. Chris Hogle gathers. Normally good in this situation. Chris Hogle just got around Emley. Ran about 20 metres and kicked the goal. Very nicely done. Very classy finish from Chris Hogle. He kicks his 4th goal for the afternoon, been a lone hand for Scoresby, and the Pies go on to 6-11-47 to Vermont 13-7-85. Bendigo Bank scoreboard, all thanks to EFL Gameday. It's all thanks to the Pie Shed. Grant Campbell, gosh, just choose that match stats it away.
In the last quarter, Vermont been right on top, 32 kicks to 18. So Scoresby just not even coming close.
And even though Chris Hogle was able to manufacture a goal out, he had to work really hard, and that was because they kicked inside the forward 50 from Jared Goldsack. Once again, their delivery there was really poor, and put him under pressure to the point where Hogle had to do something actually brilliant to actually get the goal on the board.
The umpire throws the ball up in the middle. Van Reenen versus Ross got the knockdown. Came out to Alice, tried to get a tackle away. Marcius was right on his hammer. Kirby McConnon squeezed the kick somehow up towards centre half forward. That was good play. Parker now on the left boot goes inside forward. 50. Good mark. Ben Bronskis. The boys are getting excited and putting me off here. So Ben Bronskis takes a mark 40 metres out from goal. Been very quiet this afternoon, Ben Bronskis. And it's an important kick for him. They need a couple in a row. 13.5 minutes gone here. It's a 38-point margin. Ben Bronskis comes in from 40 metres out. leans over the ball. It was a beautiful kick as soon as he connected. Straight over the goal umpire's head, and just maybe, they're not done with yet, the Scoresby Football Club. On the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, they narrow the margin back to 32 points. 7-11-53 plays 13-7-85. 14 minutes gone, Marcus.
Yeah, you see what happens when Scoresby use the footy well and they get it to their good ball users in Parker and Marcius and that. You know, Parker delivers the footy really well, and, you know, they need those guys firing for the rest of the final series to go really far. So good play by Scoresby.
So B squared, Ben Bronski's kicks his first for the day, and Peter Beardenitis got a little excited, maybe not as much as if he would have kicked it at the start of the game, but good to see the Pies making a late charge here. Ball back in the middle. Scoresby look to get the clearance here. Van Reenen off the ground towards Truce and a half forward, but Millhouse been rock solid. He probably should have been holding the ball there. He had ample opportunity to get rid of it. He didn't dispose of it properly. And the umpire will cross himself. We'll see a ball up. Truce in a half forward position. Scoresby need a goal from this clearance if they had to have any chance of winning this one. Ross versus Van Reenen. Roving it nicely there was Gold Sack. Wasn't able to quite extract it cleanly, and we'll see a ball up 45 metres out directly in front of the Scoresby goal. Around the grounds, of course, it's a Rowville by 50 points, North Ringwood by 26, and Sylvan by 27 over Ferntree Gully. So Ross and Van Reenen. Van Reenen extracts it, got a hand pass off to Cross. Couldn't quite extract it properly. Now to Cosson on the left foot. Gets it over the top to Ben Bronski's. Look at B squared! Oh, he's off. Minus score, Ben Bronski's. He had the opportunity, golden opportunity, and it was off to the left-hand side. And Scoresby, 7-12-54. Trail Vermont 13-7-85, 15 and a half minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. EFL Game Day, all thanks to the Pie Shed.
Lovely long kick by Bermuda, carried every bit of 70 metres. It's still across that half forward line for Scoresby. Mendes is in there, Bronski's Dorstow over the top, Marcius. We'll see the umpire come in and bounce it. The 50 metre line out of side of the ground. It's a 31 point margin to Vermont. Last couple, it's in their forward line. Van Reenen got the knockdown, picked up by Daniel Mendes once again, gets the clearing kick, and it was a beautiful one too. He found Ross low to the ground. So the big fella doing well there. Kicks it up towards the wing position. A lot of players down in that Scoresby forward line, and charging out was Mark Williams for the Pies now. Went short, found Paul Chadwick. He wants to keep the ball moving fastly, does so. Handball it back to Mark Williams. Now on the left boot, squares things up, but Nathan Henley filled the hole nicely for Vermont. Chops it off and takes a good mark.
Once again, another intercepted kick going inside forward 50.
So Henley's got Bermuda short if he wants him. Mitch is screaming for it, but Henley wants to go to the longer option. He kicked it where absolutely nobody was home, and it went straight down the throat of Williams. He's got players in the middle of the ground if he can go there now. His kick wasn't too crash hot. It was kicked in towards the direction of Gibbons. Couldn't quite trap it. Chadwick's in there too. Barry Murphy now for Vermont. Squeezes a kick out towards the wing. Carmody had the back spot. He needed to beat two. He managed to get a boot to it somehow. That was super play. Moving it on to Dean Kelly. Got it across to Ross. They're going backwards now. Kelly on the right boot. Kicks it inside forward 50. Looking for the Galeno direction. Right on his hammer is McConnon. He nearly gave him one in the back. It was played for. The umpire said we'll have a boundary throw in 40 metres out from goal. Ben Mortimer.
Around the ground, Sylvan by 23 points over Ferntree Gully at the 12-minute mark of the fourth quarter, but Will Taylor says that Ferntree Gully have the breeze and are coming back. Stay tuned.
I wonder how his bestie Michael Top's going this afternoon. He's excited all week to see Toppy 2 weeks in a row. Comes down to leg from the throw-in. They're going to get out of this now. Parker on the right boot. Clears it out towards Paul Chadwick on the far side of the ground. And now the Magpies are away.
So the DFOS, Chadwick goes up towards my man Bronski's. He marks a true centering position on the outer side. Scoresby need the next one. Chips it further afield. Good running by Gibbons. Been good all day for Scoresby. He's still a fair way out from goal. They need to move it quickly. Gibbons goes inside 50. Hicks in position A. Went over his head. Gold sack at the fall of it. Chucked it nicely, got a little hand pass over the top, was looking for Bronski's, but nicely picked up by young Nick Mendes. Got a hand pass back to Johnson, kicks out towards the right half back flank, and a nice mark being taken by Xavier Barry Murphy. Brings it inboard to Bermuda on the left foot. True centering position on the outer side now, over the head of Van Reenen, comes to Wale Buxton, now off to Marcius. Marcy's chips further afield. Mark taken here by Parker. Spearing ball inside 50. Very nice. Jaden Hogle finally gets on the end of it. He's got players on. He's looking to play on now. He'll go back onto the left foot. The kick is just wide of Sean Cross. Able to keep it in though. Now back to Marcy's. He spears it inside 50, below the feet of Chris Hogle. They cannot take a trick at the moment, Scoresby. I'll try and get this ball inside forward 50. Hogle applies the pressure on Millhouse, and the ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. Left forward pocket, 35 metres out from the Scoresby goal. They trail 7-12-54 to Vermont 13-7-85. 18, nearly 19 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. EFL Game Day, all thanks to the Pie Shed today. See Mark and the team at their Bayswater or Scoresby stores. Cross brought it down. Chris Hogle might run onto this one. Ball's about 5 metres out from goal. And Johnson sees it over the boundary line and out of bounds. Left forward pocket, 15 metres around from goal.
Scoresby have had just as much as the play in footy today, but just their use once again, it's really hurting them.
So Hicks and Taylor to go at it, as they have done all day. Cross feeds out a hand pass. Hogle round the body, just off to the left-hand side. Needed to kick that one. And Scoresby, they're 13th behind for the day. 7-13-55 was at their 12th behind. 7-12-54 to Vermont 13-7-85. 19.5 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. EFL Game Day, all thanks to the Pie Shed.
Millhouse used Benuda, who went towards the Ross direction out wide. So he kept running, Robbie. Might actually be the recipient of this kick. So Nathan Henley on the right boot, bit of a skyscraper up towards the Leung direction over the back of the pack. That was a good fist away by Williams. They've still got the numbers though, the Eagles. John's kick was half smothered, but it still found its way inside forward 50. Carmody's in there too, couldn't handball it, trapped it, bounced it back towards the top of the goal square. Are they going to be able to keep this one in? Jared Major wanted the boundary line, he found it eventually. Pressure and asking for deliberate. 20.5 minutes gone here. It's a 30-point margin. Scoresby, they've led it from go to woe.
Vermont have.
Vermont have. Scoresby kicked the first 5 behinds of the day, and then Vermont have led from that time onwards. Taylor palmed it down to Leung. Handball just inside. Johns is trying to keep it alive. Over there is also Wade McConnell. Boundary throw in. In fact, it's a free kick. It's going to go to Johns in the forward pocket. Did you see what that one was for, Pete?
I didn't. I wasn't actually watching at the time.
Out in the full, they caught it.
Yeah. So the kick goes towards the Daniel Mendes direction. It was squared up in the back of the pack. Carmody takes a ripping mark. He was the biggest man, and he flew just at the back of the pack and just plucked it off the top. So Tom Carmody from about 40 metres out from goal now. He'll have a shot for his second and Vermont's 14th.
I reckon Vermont are making a real statement today. You know, they're saying, look, you know, we're here to play. We're not going to no mucking around. We want this. So,
Tom Carmody from 40 metres out, straight through the middle. He made the goal umpire work at the last minute, but it had already gone through. Second goal to Tom Carmody. Vermont move on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard to 14 goals, 7.91, 7-13-55 Scoresby. 21.5 minutes gone, Pete.
They've actually beaten Scoresby at their own game today. The way Scoresby normally deprive sides of the opportunity of their run and carry and then hurt them going the other way, that's exactly what Vermont have done today to Scoresby. Scoresby normally put so much pressure on the ball carrier that even when they're not under pressure, there's that implied pressure there that forces a turnover, and that's exactly what Vermont have done. They've just been super in every aspect of their game this afternoon.
At Tormore Reserve at the moment, Ashford's kicked 3 goals, 6 today, and but the Eagles still trail by 23 points. Off half back now, Scoresby have the ball. Major, not quite sure which way to go. Tremendous pressure from Adrian Galino. A little overzealous. He was stiff to get a free kick against him there for a push in the back, and Wade McConnell will receive the free kick. Right half back flank, I should say. Kicks up towards true centering position. Jaden Hogle did well to bring the ball to ground. The ball goes over the boundary line and out of bounds, and we'll see a boundary throw in true centering position. And it's the Eagles 14-7-91 leading Scoresby 7-13-55 dying stages here on EFL Game Day. Thanks to the Pie Shed. Marcius just from the clearance. Got a little hand pass away to Kirby McConnon. Slung in a tackle, surely holding the ball. High tackle though. Received just before he was able to get rid of it. And Kirby McConnon will receive the free kick. True centering position. Broadcast side. Left foot chipping ball in the middle was okay. Mark taken for the Pies. Cross goes long inside 50 from the side. Chris Hogle, was he paid the mark? Not quite. Ball still on the deck. Kyle Hemley's underneath there, and the umpire calls
I think that was Cosson from the side.
Yeah, it was, and he was a ripping effort as well. Wasn't able to quite take the mark. Chris Hogle was nearby. So we'll see a ball up 35 metres out from goal. Cosson, speak of the devil, as if on cue, couldn't quite get boot to ball. And we'll see another ball up inside forward 50 for the Pies. So, Scoresby at the moment looks like they'll have to do it the hard way and play the winner of Baldwin and Noble Park in the first Choose Tap semi-final in Division 1.
Wouldn't that be nervous stations for Scoresby if it happens to be Noble Park?
Certainly would, as the ball comes out, leg on hands and knees, played for the free kick, wasn't able to get it. Ball comes out here, Chris Hogle looking for goal number 5. Vermont have the numbers though, they'll have to go forward, snap out from Kevin McConnon, looks all right, just off to the left-hand side, and a minor score for the Pies. 7-14-56 are Scoresby to Vermont 14-7-91. 24 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. This is EFL Game Day on 98.1 FM and of course on EFL.org.au. All thanks to the Pie Shed. See Mark and the team at Bayswater or Scoresby for 40 varieties of pies.
How often has Millhouse gone to Bermuda in the kick-ins today?
Every time,
nearly every time.
The ball comes out towards the Ross direction, drop what he probably should have taken. Daniel Mendes is right there to hold the ball up about 60 metres out from the Scoresby goals. 24 and a half minutes gone.
Phil Muscat's kicked a goal for Ferntree Gully to bring the lead back to 19 points. 19 minutes gone.
Huge
3-goal
game
lead.
out there at Tormore. Higher. That's the play go. Parker might get advantage paid here. Now the Magpies are inside forward 50 to centering kick towards the Bronze Geese direction. He comes out and takes a good mark too, about 40 metres out, but it's all too little, too late.
It is. But once again, when they can get it in the ball, the hands of a really good ball user like Adam Parker, they look so much more dangerous moving the ball inside 50. It's when they're not able to do that the kicks just get chopped off willy-nilly by Vermont all afternoon.
So Bronze Geest has kicked one for the afternoon. He comes in from 40 metres out. He kicks hard at the football, but he pushes it to the right-hand side.
They've
one behind.
Sorry, Benny. They've just missed a lot of easy shots today, goals, I reckon. And, you know, they well and truly could have been in the game if they took their opportunities.
So Millhouse to bring it out, kicks to himself from the goal square, and the kick up towards true centre wing, and the mark's being held by Wale Buxton. He brings it inside forward 50 now, but to 3-on-1 in favour of Vermont, and luckily Millhouse was able to hold the mark because his opponent in Kyle Emley also went for the same ball, but Millhouse was strong and has been one of the best. Speaking of best, here's Daniel Mendes, as if on cue, takes the mark in the middle, and it's a beautiful kick in front of Ellis.
Go the whole way.
Give it to Dalton.
Andrew Ellis, long kick from 55 metres, out for goal! Andrew Ellis puts through his second, and it is party time for the Vermont Football Club. They go on to 15-7-97, leading Scoresby 7-15-57, a 40-point margin with 26 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard here on EFL Game Day. Thanks to the Pie Shed, Frosty. It's a bit of a Vermont fiesta in this final term.
It is. They're just going from strength to strength, but that is goal of the day on Game Day, brought to you by the Pie Shed, because that was absolutely fantastic. The way they just moved the ball there and were able to run it to 50 and actually have the conviction to back themselves to go for goal when they know the goal square's open. I know Marcus was calling for him to try and spot up Jared Dalton for his 6th of the afternoon, but he was able to get the job done himself.
Ball's back in the middle of the ground. Scoresby might get this clearance. Wrapped up in a tackle in there. I said, I'll just bounce it once more time. So only a couple of minutes left in this final term. 40 points is the difference.
And I think both teams have had the same number of scoring shots this afternoon, BWS.
So coming over the back there, Goldsack got a good fist on it. Dave Leung scooped on it, then banged it on his boot and kicked it out towards the Robbie Ross direction. He has to beat Wale Buxton though. Wale Buxton has the turn of speed to get the ball. Ross was right on his hammer, created a bit of pressure. Still got the handball away. Vermont have the numbers across the wing position. They're going to surge the ball inside forward 50. Galeno has the back spot this time. Well done that time by Wade McConnon. He took on the football and he kicked it up towards the wing position. Underneath it though is David Leung. Used his body nicely. Got players backwards. They're going to kick it up towards centre half forward. Dean Kelly's in the front spot and he comes out and takes a good mark just inside the arc. So he'll have a shot for goal. He's asking for players to create the lead. It is a big kick normally, Dean Kelly. In fact, he's going to go short on here, and it was a nice pass too. He had a couple of players who could have raffled it. Tim Johnson was down there. He elected to go for Edgecombe. Yeah, I know it was. I was just saying that Tim Johnson was next to Edgecombe.
Sorry, BWS.
No, it's all right. Everyone looked at me and said it at the same time. So he'll come in from about 45 metres out. Over the ball. He's been relatively quiet this afternoon, but that's a great way to finish, isn't it? Fantastic kick by David Edgecombe, straight over the goal umpire's head, and Vermont kicked their 16th on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 16 goals, 713, 7-15, 57 Scoresby.
I reckon the most worried man at this ground at the moment isn't Scott White. I reckon if Kevin Tiboldi standing here watching this Vermont side, he would be shaking in his boots just watching them go about their business today, because they've made a very, very good side.
Why would he be shaking in his boots? They finished on top of the ladder and lost 3 games
because they've made a very, very good side in Scoresby. Look
boots.
Average this afternoon.
You're just trying to stir the pot.
So, Van Reenen got the tap down to Adam Parker on the left foot. High kick up towards full forward. Bronze-Geest! Oh, Ben Bronze-Geest!
You're right.
On the siren. What a way to finish, my man. It won't matter, though, because Vermont 16-7, 103 will defeat Vermont in 7-15-57. Bronze-Geest played on, kicked his second. But it's full time here at Bayswater Oval, and Vermont will play Norwood in the second week of the Tuesday Finals Series. Vermont 16-7, 103, defeating Scoresby 8-15-63 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 40-point win to Vermont, and they were very, very impressive today.
Oh, that was super. And it's that they actually beat Scoresby at their own game today, and that's something that not a lot of sides have been able to do this year. They deprived them of run and space. They put pressure on the ball carrier. They forced them to turn it over. They forced them to be sloppy with their ball use as they brought the ball inside 50, and they actually caused the ball to be in the hands of the players they wanted it to be as Scoresby took the ball forward by nullifying the influence of guys like Marcius, Parker and Warby, who are their great ball users. So a fantastic effort today by the Vermont Football Club.
Well, that's crossed down boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care, because Daniel Sensik's down there and he's with the winning coach Chris Barlow. Take it away, Dan.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thanks for joining us. First team this season to kick 100 points versus Scoresby. Must be pretty good.
Yeah, no, someone actually just told me that on the bench. So yeah, it was a good reward for some tactical playing that we put into it, but we executed really well. We put them under the same sort of pressure which they put us on under it last time we played them. So yeah, it was a good result.
It's coaching a club like Vermont. There's obviously a lot of weight of expectation given their success. Do you feel that coming into the final series and especially coming into today's game?
Look, to be honest, no, I don't. It sounds cliched, but I've been really happy with, firstly where we finished on the ladder, to come from 9th to finish 3rd, equal 2nd, now to win the first final and have a shot at going straight in the grand final. I don't feel the expectation, but I'm happy to have it anyway.
Must have been good to reverse the scores from last time. Obviously, Scoresby beat us pretty convincingly. What did the side do better today that they didn't do a few weeks ago?
Oh, look, I just think, we applied pressure the way that, we've applied it for most of the year. We did everything in numbers, and that was a focus, making sure that, everything we did together. So, I really thought that, the pressure at the end of the day was what won us the game.
You're on to Norwood next week. They're obviously a really good side. Your team's really high scoring and they're great at locking down sides. Should be an interesting clash.
Yeah, look, we had a great clash with them last time, so we're really looking forward to facing off against Norwood next week. They'll be full of confidence. They finished top of the ladder, a very good side. We hope that we've got a game style that'll trouble them.
Thanks, mate. Enjoy.
Thank you very much to Daniel Sensik with the winning coach Chris Barlow down there, boundary line. Peter Baird dying to ask a few questions. That's why we put the headset on his head, but it's running. They will wait it for him anyway. But let's head down to those Vermont rooms to hear the winning song. They're through.
To the Vermont. He's all right. They're all right. Vermont are all right. They win 16-7, 103 to Scoresby, 8-15-63, 40 points to margin. Got some around the ground scores. North Ringwood march into the Division 3 Choose Tap Grand Final. 16-12, 108 to the Glen Waverly Hawks, 11-11-77, a 33-point win to North Ringwood. Paul Semertzidis will have a full report after full time, after 5 o'clock, I should say. And Peter Baird, what about this? Rowville 14-6-90, defeating Mooroolbark 4-6-30. 60 points is the margin. I doubt that Televsky might have had a goal kick today. I reckon he probably hasn't. Rowville win by 60 points. Sends a bit of a message to Montrose next week.
It's the curse of the huddle back, getting the Mooroolbark boys in.
It's 3 weeks in a row now.
If so, we'll have to get Montrose in for Club Corner next week.
And just a great result today for the Sylvan Football Club. They've defeated Ferntree Gully by 29 points. Sylvan 12-24. Geez, they're inaccurate. 12-24-96 to Ferntree Gully 10-7-67. Wonderful result. Sylvan, of course, finishing second last year, now finishing third this year, and a great effort to win a final in just their second year in the Eastern Football League. 36 scoring shots to 17. A magnificent performance by the Cats.
Oh, that's great. And I tipped it. I'm not going to blow my own trumpet. I tipped it. I thought Sylvan would bounce. I thought Sylvan would bounce back today. They were really disappointed with their performance last week. And as I said, South Belgrave have actually taught them a lesson on what they needed to do to play finals. And for them to go out and put that into practice today against a very good Ferntree Gully side, that's a really credible effort by the Cats.
Yeah, it's an interesting pick by yourself, Pete, because to go down like that in that fashion last week and to be able to turn it around, they'll take a lot of confidence now moving forward in this finals series. Ferntree Gully, they were on such a good roll. No one saw really this loss coming for them, but I suppose after being on such a good roll in that second half of the season, eventually time will catch up with you at some point. Unfortunately for the Eagles, that was today.
Yeah, fortunately, the bubble has to burst sooner or later. They probably were riding their luck coming into the finals and rode it all the way through to a first semi-final. So I think Bernie Ryan, though, he'd be really happy because he's building for the future, and anything they got out of this year was just going to be a bonus, and he said that himself a couple of weeks ago.
Well, you may have picked the Sylvan Football Club, but you also selected the Glen Waverely Hawks, and they went down to North Ringwood, so you did okay, but not so super. Grant Campbell, speaking of super soupy, was on the True Stats this afternoon, mate. How did you see it from a stats point of view?
Some of the main stats for the match: the hit-outs, Vermont won 59-46. Kicks, that's an important stat. About 85% of the time you win kicks, you win the game. Vermont had 192, Scoresby 156, so they won that by 36. The handball, Scoresby won 97-90. They won the contested possessions, Scoresby 123-120. Vermont had a lot more uncontested footy though, 162 to 130. Inside 50s, there